Hey YouTube, Sizzy here.
Hey guys, Zizaran here.
Hey everyone, so I was literally just about to go to bed.
Hi, Zizaran here. Zizaran here with Zizaran here. Zizaran here with Zizaran here. Hi, Zizaran here. And welcome to my channel. Wow, that looks like my girlfriend. Sharks is the best one. Go away! Leave! I believe in Sharknado, and you should too. Vote Sharknado to go away! That says a lot. What? Excellent Otna will be hell on Earth? Yes. Yes, it will. Oh my god! Nothing prepared me for that! So creative. Oh! Oh! We made so much money! Oh! Oh. Scripted! Scripted! That's our card! That's our community card! We made this! That is... Oh my... This is the undisputed best axe in the game! For duelist, for banquet! Fucking banquet! Holy shit! Oh. Has my camera been on the entire time? It might have been. Hi! Dude, I was tempted to go live with the title addressing the accusations.
45 months. Why isn't it tomorrow yet, Madge time?
I know. Tell me about it. Hello. I'm also streaming on Twitter. Wonder how many people watch on Twitter. Zizaran is hosting. 60 viewers. Badass. You stream on Twitter? Yeah.
313 is firing Zizzy's laser.
Which accusations this time? So a lot of people are accusing me of paying for some new POB feature. Which, by the way, I don't even have because I haven't updated POB yet. Oh, I accused him of that? I paid for nothing! I paid for nothing! Also, if anything was paid for there, surely it would have to say advertisement, or it would be illegally. Like, it would have to say sponsored. Also, like, the reason I don't like the feature being paid, imagine if things like Path of Exile builds or Fast as Fuck starts, like, posting their shit there. It's because the site it pulls from sorts by YouTube views. Nice. Yeah, it's a world drop. So it's like... It's not even loading.
Aquapix just resubscribed for 36 months. Been too long.
I don't understand. I thought this was a thing.
To you. I can't wait to come back to this new league after taking a break.
The site got bricked? Ah. Okay, well, somebody linked me screenshots. Shit. Somebody linked it to me somewhere. Of what it looked like. Ah. No. I'm confused. Is it this? New POB feature. Bleed is back. Zizaran, Zizaran, Zizaran. So I'm like, I did not pay for this. I just happen to be very popular. Okay? Okay? Zero. I did not even know this is a feature that was coming. It also is not a feature that would benefit me at all. Okay? So the people that think I would pay for this are stupid. There would be zero benefit for me to do this. This is going to harm my income, not help it. It definitely shouldn't have these baity titles. Wait, these are my titles. I can defend each and every one of these titles. Bleed is back. That is literally correct. Bleed is insane. Like, there's no bait here. This is by far the strongest build I've ever played. I'm sure chat will agree with me. That is the strongest build they have ever seen me play. Right? One tap the whole screen. It has a radius of 11. Which is, screen is 9 or 10. Objections? Too little caps lock? Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I'm not a big fan of this either. But if I had this, instead of bleed is back with caps lock on back, and we have experimented with this, it is roughly 13 times more powerful to have this title than this is a cool league starter. So, sensationalism is very important, but I don't clickbait, right? I think it's very fair. Like, I never lie with my titles. But sweep is trash? Yeah, we wanted to do sweep, but we thought it looked trash, so we didn't make one. Why is the DPS so low on Gladiator? Oh, because this is the hit DPS. Did you see Creparian's POB review of your build? Yes. There were a few good points, like the duration of bleed, but the majority of the criticism was that we take the suppression nodes, and he was suggesting that you should, instead of taking the suppression nodes, just have tier 1 suppression on all your gear, but my builds are for new players, and I don't feel like new players are going to have tier 1 suppression on your gear on day 2. So, and that was the majority of the criticism was around that. But there were some good things in there. I also think it undervalues Clum Sign. 1C ring versus 5D ring. You can use those 5D somewhere else. Twitter live stream? Yeah, I'm streaming on Twitter too. I don't have a way to read chat, so yeah, Twitter is going to be the neglected stepchild. You can live stream? Yeah, so I'm live on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch right now. Why is EHP saying infinite? EHP is a dumb stat. It shouldn't be in POB. It's a useless stat that means nothing for any build. Completely ignore it. Hi, GG. Good to see you. Why not Facebook Live too? Because it's a nightmare to set all of this up. We're gonna play when wipe happens. It depends how soon it is. I might have to start late, because PoE is starting tomorrow. I'm also still evasion away from Kappa, and I'm really sad, because I might not get Kappa, unless I get it tonight. Actually, we'll try to get it tonight. EHP is near general tankiness over a period of time? No. Completely ignore EHP. It never matters. It's an unimportant stat. Not live on Kick? No, I got offered $16,000 a month or something to stream on Kick. I still don't want to stream on Kick. I said beginning of August. I love your voice. Thanks. TikTok is apparently a pain to stream on. But yeah, I'm very happy with the last raid build. I think people will enjoy it. I'd way rather set up the build for being for new players and not accounting for perfect gear. I think making a POB and accounting for perfect suppression on gear, I think you're gonna have a really hard time as a new player. Yes, Bruno. Why are we taking Oak instead of Illyria for Lesser Gladiator? Because 40 life is better than all rest.
Just resubscribed for
we tried once human. Yeah, I played it.
Hello.
That's fun. It was pretty decent, actually. Sis, are you a grower or a shower? So I'm actually a third category called the behemoth. Like, it's really annoying because sometimes when I turn around, I'll accidentally, like, it'll slap the wall and stuff. So I have to be really careful when I turn. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. It's not much I can do about it. Genetics. Don't break the wall. Feel bad for your wife. Yum. It is what it is. It is what it is. See, I wonder how Twitter live is going to be. 140 viewers on Twitter. Very odd. Very odd to be live on Twitter. How's YouTube going? Hi YouTube. At least YouTube I can read the chat. Mower. Oh shit, I should have done that joke. That's funnier. Lol, Harden. No Rest for the Wicked update is live. Yeah, we are doing that today. So we're chilling for a bit at the moment. Then we're doing a No Rest for the Wicked sponsor, and we're interviewing one of the devs. And I've written down questions for No Rest for the Wicked, so it's gonna be like a 30-minute interview. I'm on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. So I'm gonna ask you about like monetization in the future and lots of cool things. I'm going Gladiator SST. Just went up on YouTube. No Rest gets new content? Yes, sir. Kind of bad timing, but it's a game I really like and want to play more of. I think I have like 20 hours in it so far. Yeah, I just posted this. Let's see. So I'm probably playing with Embu tomorrow. What I'm thinking is that I play with Embu and we help each other and just focus on making currency. And then we make a duo setup. We make a duo setup and go for giga currency. Tiger, it looks amazing.
Scroofs Hunter just resubscribed for 27 months.
Why do you make currency when your slaves can do it? Yeah, I am excited for that.
R0 bot 85
I am excited for that.
Ziz's laser. What you working on today, sir?
Alright, now we're chilling and then we're gonna do No Rest for the Wicked for a bit.
starch lacking pigment is firing.
Would you be willing to make a guide on it? Yes, correct. I mean, retaliation skills, I'm worried about how it's going to feel to play. That's why I wouldn't want to league start it. But Groth is going to be league starting it, so if you want to try something experimental. Robot Scripts, Starch, Laquil, and Basilisk, thank you for the sub. Sorry if I've missed anything. I'm a little bit frazzled at the moment. I woke up to loads of drama about the advertisement thing. Quinn is dissing your bleed build right now. That's fine. That's fine. I've already had Rue go over my builds. Like, the majority, I think this was part of what Crip wasn't 100% sure over too. But like, if you ask like Lily, Rue, and Jung and stuff, who do criticize a lot of builds, my builds are specifically made with new players in mind, right? That's always the case. They're never made to be, hey, you need perfect gear and min-max to play this. I'm pretty open about that. The number one goal I have is that you feel good when playing the build. What's he saying? Oh, he's thinking I should take Testudo. I thought about it. It's not worth it. I also think Crip was just doing a comparison between the builds, but he came off a bit more critical than he probably intended. Yeah, Crip's great. I love Crip. We'll find out tomorrow, Headhunter. Yes, Langton, I do. Like, I never mind criticism of my builds because so often when somebody looks at my builds, all that's gonna happen is worst case scenario, I don't agree with it and I'll keep it the way it is. Best case scenario, it makes me think of a way to improve the build for new players. Win-win. Like, I do run all my builds through like people that are better than me. Like Sai looks at everything, Rue looks at loads. So people need to be stop being so scared of being wrong and just see it as a way to improve. At the end of the day, we haven't posted a single build guide that has made that has been bad to play for like 5 years, 6 years. Why don't you use your real accent? So that is a very good question. So Norwegians are like persecuted and hated across the world. So whenever somebody finds out I'm Norwegian, I get a lot of hate mail. So I have to pretend not to be Norwegian for my own safety. See, there you have it. There you see the hatred. Well, what was the last bad build? Like 3.3 explosive arrow. So we me, Mathel, Rise, all thought explosive arrow was going to be insane. And it wasn't. You are not German. Wait, no, that was French maybe. Scheiße, ich spreche sehr gut Deutsch. Ich habe 1 Jahr Deutsch in der Schule. So I see, I opened Quinn's stream and apparently he's halved my DPS on a build that's already low damage, so. Let's see, I want to ask in chat. Are you halving my damage on a build that already has low damage?
Hoover 7272 is firing Ziz's laser.
You put like the like combat for 100 seconds. Alright. Fucking. Dude, unironically though, do you think a lot of people are gonna do that? Do you think a lot of people are gonna have is this the build? I don't know what this is. That's right. Do you think a lot of people are gonna be like, how long have you been in combat? 100 seconds? I don't even know where that stat is. Am I cooked? Isn't that a stat? I swear. Oh, enemy near presence duration. Do you think a lot of people are gonna do that? I didn't even know where it was because I haven't looked at it. It is good though. It is nice because that means that, you know, all you have to do is like wait around, survive a little bit. And eventually you will actually have really good damage. It is actually perfect for this build. I kind of want to play SST, but I'm worried it'll be ZDPS in my hands. Well, here, so I'll show you something. Look at this kill tree, right? Look at this kill tree. Now look at Lacerate. Worst case scenario, if you're struggling on getting a shield and you're not sure on the damage, or maybe you want to just start Lacerate, and then if you like what you're seeing on my stream, and I feel like that was easy, then you can maybe go SST. Yeah, EHP should be removed from POB. Why are we taking 2 Combs rings? They're really OP in my opinion. You can see how much EHP they add. It's basically 5k max hit, and it's both Fizz and Ellie max hit. It is not Chaos, which is sad. But, as I say in my build guide, look at all the corruptions you can get on these. Attack speed, stats, global Fizz, rarity, all res, 16 all res. Bleeding cannot be inflicted on you, cannot be poisoned, cannot be ignited, and pride effect. And there are other good ones for other builds too. What's gonna most likely kill you though? In this build, degen, which it also helps with. Can you tell me who I have to watch out for? Goratha. Can somebody link Goratha's Twitch for Kisaris in chat? On Twitch chat? Goratha. Goratha. God damn it, Makos. Thank you, Medikey. No, but I have made an Archmage build. Are you adding more builds to max roll? No, I don't think so. Who's the greatest PoE racer of all time? For long races and boss kills, like Ben. For short races, fuck, what's his name? My brain's stopping. I just woke up. What's his name? Ty 23, by far. By far. Not having? No. Ty 23 shits on everybody in short races. Yeah, Archmage is really good. Also, Champier is not dead. It's just nerfed a lot. What about Exile? Ty is better. I think Exile would say Ty is better. He won both Exile cons. Ty is crazy. What's a short race? Actankitava. Any chance for a Peacock guide? No. What am I making? Let me look at my list. What am I still making? Minion build with Gazi. Atlas video. And a third-party video, like third-party things like Craft of Exile, PWDB. Yeah, Kilos. What makes Tai better than everyone else? He's not. Tai 23 is, not Tai. Two different people. I don't know, he's just crazy. Oh, and Zerker Slams is coming out. I think that's being worked on right now. No, leaks tomorrow. Leaks tomorrow. I just wanted to go live a bit before my sponsor and talk about the new POB feature. That has now crashed. No, I'm doing trade hardcore and I'll be playing with Embu. New POB feature? Yeah, I'll show you. Yeah, trade pyro, so really very cool. Addressing the drama. It's this. With Shield Crush? Yes. Although you can use War Christ with Shield Crush, so Shield Crush is a lot stronger. I use Shield Crush for leveling. But yeah, it's like the problem is, where's my combo about this? The problem is that you can pay. Choose a build to be listed in the Holo Grandmaster's libraries. Add one of your builds to the Curio. So it's like you can pay to have your build promoted. Like that's the problem. And people promote your build. So from what I understand, so I did not know this was going to be a feature. I've never been asked about this, and I woke up to drama about it, right? The Curio is site only. I have no idea. I thought they were connected. I don't know. I know nothing about this. I woke up. I've done nothing wrong. I'm innocent. But either way, so I assume what's happening is since my build guides are so much more popular than most, like on YouTube, it's like 8x the views, then they get promoted organically here. But the problem is you can also pay for this. What's the benefit of some random promoting their ship build? Yeah, so here, I don't actually know. Like, this would be the opposite of benefit. So, I would make less money of my videos with this. So, I don't really want it there to begin with, but... But it was linked in the thread. I just assumed the POB archives is connected to POB, but maybe it's not. My problem is I'm so amazingly popular on organic reach that people think I'm paying for it. First-rate influencer problems. Maybe, Dorfin. Now, I'm a little bit sad because what they should have added, and I would pay for this, would be, do you remember Clippy from Word? Ideally, they should have my face appear in everybody's POB. And be like, it seems like your build does no damage. Would you like some help? But yeah, I don't know. I just woke up to loads of comments of people saying lots of shit about me, and I was sad. And I was like, huh? I went to bed so happy. And then I was like, what? Yeah, I saw Lily.
Firing Ziz's laser, less than 3.
Lily says that lacerate does no damage. Oh, so this is the hit DPS. This is the hit DPS. Lacerate will have a lot of damage.
Joker just
This is an older POB you have saved?
Boat. I mean, City Builder League time. Love yours is less than 3.
Thank you. You already have. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Title, Rob, thank you. Glacial, Shield, or Eviscerate as a reset. As a reset for Fist? Wait, for Fist? What do you mean? Oh, As a retaliate skill for fist. I'm gonna use glacial shield. I should have talked about that in the video. Why isn't it loading now? I don't know. Probably getting hugged to death. Could I use to the YouTube streams? Yeah. But yeah, it has a lot of damage. It has a lot of damage. Do-do-do-do. No, it's not 40 million damage. It's 40 million per bleed. It's not the same. I have no idea what to play for these. There seems there's so many options now. Too many, yeah. It is. We do have a lot of options. Right. Let's see what Lily has to say. Actually, I'm going to open it in Opera, so... Let's see. Right, let's see what Lily has to say.
I haven't seen it, but the strength of blood thing. What don't I like about it?
Suj, what don't
What am
you
I
like
missing
about the
here?
lacerate damage?
Why damage so low? And this one's 2.2. Super early. I mean, that's not a super early axe.
It is.
I mean, it's
16 is
pretty
very easy
early,
to get
it's not
now.
Super early.
Bagging dramas? No, criticism isn't drama. You can always look to improve things.
No, I mean, seems low to me. I mean, it is a dot, I guess.
Tomorrow I'm hyped? Yeah, I'm very hyped. But do you go by SST bleed before and after the patch for boss damage? Boss damage is gonna be bad on SST.
I don't think it's bait. The damage is just kind of low. I'm just like I'm just imagining doing my Watchstone invitations, and I imagine myself crying.
Do we have the ramping nodes on last raid? I can't even remember.
There's no way you have a better axe than this. Or
No, we don't.
there's no way you have an equivalent axe of this. by
No, well mapping, yeah.
wash stones. Okay, I guess for like softcore trade people who are slower.
Wait, 450 PDPSX is super easy with the new quality, no?
Oh no, I'm scared of that attack rate. I guess you only have to hit once, but
I think she's underestimating the new quality.
I mean, aren't the new quality changes are in here, right? I mean, this is new quality. Yeah, maybe.
Always jack the axe? Nah.
Well, yeah, but just because it's a mapper, I'm not gonna rate its damage higher because it's a mapper.
Didn't you rate it 1 out of 5 on damage though? It doesn't have 1 out of 5 damage. It's got like a 2 or 3.
I mean, yeah, it's probably not. Well, I was still investigating. I'm not done yet. I haven't even started with these really. I'm still investigating.
There it is, the backtracking.
Thanks, dear.
Sai, do you want to link me the updated one? Because I don't have that one either. Oh, I see it.
Did I remove something?
Oops.
Where to go? I don't think so. No. Okay. I just set it to the early endgame.
Should be the latest.
Maybe I did. What did I unclick? I don't think I unclicked anything. There's like nothing to unclick.
Julisk is firing Ziz's laser. Ziz, you know I'm a rubbish player.
Yes, I.
Tell me
Maybe
what
I
to play,
accidentally
otherwise it will
something.
be Trickster again.
Did it,
SST looks super fun.
Just updated or something? There's nothing to unclick. Hmm. I'll give it another review. I'll review it later, but now it's route to interview time.
To be fair, I don't have a problem with criticism because worst case scenario, you can improve your build and make it better for other people. I just had a big problem with the 1 out of 5 damage rating. That I did have a problem with. Like, you can give my SST a 1 out of 5 damage. Did you see the couple of changes that Crip made to your lacerate tree? Yes, but my build is made for new players, right? So his suggestion is simply get perfectly rolled suppression gear, which I don't personally think that new players is going to have. My build is made for new players. It is to account for the problems that new players face. Personally, I don't feel like I'm out of touch here, but I don't think new players are going to have tier 1 suppression on every single piece of gear. The changes that he's suggesting are not possible while taking suppression on the tree. The block chest won't be possible though. Wait, explain. The one I use on SST? Why not? The block chest is hella hard to get. Wait, I always make that chest every time I play. The chest unglared blade will be really hard. Am I missing something? It's the same chest we make every league. It's just instead of crafting physical damage taken as Ellie, you craft block. I'm not sure I'm following. Steel's build is good. Anything steel place is good. Yeah, it doesn't affect loss rate. It's just for earthquake. All right. Crip said that that chest would be close to impossible to craft for some reason. I don't understand. The only thing that's hard is getting both physical damage reduction and suppression. Oh, this is my SST chest? What's the lacerate chest? It's probably even easier. Oh shit, I don't have the thing. Here. Oh, oops. Wait, this is even easier than my SST chest. Wait, this is like the easiest thing to craft ever. +1 all max res, I guess? So I don't know if you're serious or not, but that's just that's the implicit. That's the blue and red currencies. That's 30 chaos, 50 chaos max. Wait, okay. I could understand like my SST chest being harder because here you need a fracture, but you just, and honestly I could have mentioned that in the video, but it's gonna be hard to get both suppression and PDR. But the lacerate chest is literally free. Wait, how is this hard? He meant something else, not the crafting. He said it's not a good idea to craft chance on block. I don't do craft like that. Yeah, I need to take a quick break though. Create a new item. Can you use fossils here though? Let's see. What was it? Right. So it's 18% suppression, so it's not max roll. So it'll probably be... How much do you think tier 3 suppression fractured costs? Any softcore players? Because that's what most people are playing. How much would like tier 3 suppression fractured cost? 10C. Not much. Okay. Tier 2. Let's do tier 2. And a mid roll, so it's not perfect. So then we're maybe at what? 40C? 50? What day? Day 3? Day 4? Right. So let's fracture this. Because like tier 1 will be expensive. That'll be multiple divines. Okay. Oh damn, that's nice. I did a life chest, by the way, which is even easier. You can Essence of Greed. Oh, so you did. I was going for double armor and evasion. So you're right, you don't even have to do this. You can literally... You can literally do
Raptor
this.
is firing Ziz's laser.
Well, that's kind of nice. Oh, there. There, that's the chest, I think. I got the chest. Is that the exact chest? And then we Excel Slam it. Okay, we got strength instead of res. We got strength instead of res. I don't have 50C in day 3, then watch some of my videos on making currency, because you can make that pretty easy without even trading. Okay, I mean, I'm not saying this is a 10C chest, but calling it impossible is an insane statement. I think everybody will agree with.
61 months.
It's definitely not impossible. Very definitely not impossible. Honey Raptor and Seabass, thank you for the subs. Look at Lily's stream. What? Oh, she's interviewing Rue. That's funny. Right, I need to go bathroom. Be right back. It's a pretty standard chest. Yes. Alright, I'm back. Hello. 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 Why isn't this going SSF hardcore nowadays? So I used to play SSF hardcore not because I wanted to, but because I was forced to. There wasn't that much fun for me in hardcore trade because everything was so easy. Now we have actual content to do on hardcore trade with the Valdos maps and stuff like that. So it's fun and challenging now. So I do prefer playing hardcore trade. You can use Steel Steals if you want to. Spectros got buffed as well. So did SST. Right, I should put out a tweet. We are going to be switching to No Rest for the Wicked for 2 hours. We're also going to be doing an interview with one of the developers. So this is another, it's not really an ARPG. It has ARPG elements in it. It's just its own new genre. It's a very, like, different game. I know, right, about having 20% accurate with a forcing bleed with Tilde and Risata. Yeah, that's why we say that in the notes and the video, that if it doesn't feel good without that, we just use the node that gives us accurate on the first hit. Like, that's always going to be the case when there are new builds, right? Like, we are going to have to, like, play around with it. We are going to have to play around with it. Alright. Let's see. I don't know if the discount thing is still on. I'll remove that. Because that was from last time. Let's see. Settings. Oh. That's large. Let me fix that. Shit. Shit. Where is it? I can't find what layer it's on. It should be bigger. There. Boom. I'll remove it for now.
Don't 2K just resubscribed for 92 months. Sadly I can't watch League start, but I wish you good luck and lots of fun.
There, let me tweet and then we're jamming. Thank you, I'm very excited for League start. Alright, so we are going to be interviewing one of the developers today. Let's see, should I update my... Maybe Viro can update my YouTube stuff too. Should I just make a new character or continue my old? Let's see. Let's see. Alright. So this is my existing character that I've played quite a lot. Also, right. Let's begin. So, did I save the audio setting? Is that not saving? Okay, good. Right. So this is a sponsored stream for No Rest for the Wicked. I have played this quite a bit already. It's kind of its own genre. It's made by, for those, a lot of people might already be familiar with the developer of this game. It is made by the people who made Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will-o'-the-Wisp. And this is like Dark Souls meets ARPGs. So it's like Dark Souls, but more like rare gear, top-down view, ARPG view, stuff like that. Let's see. I want to look at basically the video. But yeah, this is a sponsored stream by Moon Studios. But they have made some really cool games, so I've been enjoying playing it.
Carolus 401 just
so far, I've played
78
roughly
months.
20 hours, and I think 2 of those were sponsored, but I did play a decent amount after. The game is so trash, it's hilarious. What didn't you like about it? So this is one of the games I played a lot after the sponsor. Hey, Toxic. This game is great. Yeah, I liked it. A lot of people, I will say, a lot of people did think it was too difficult. How much of the game you played? I finished everything that was in the first update, and then I started doing the roguelike dungeon. And I know a lot of people found that the game was too difficult, right? Like a lot of people want easier games like Diablo, and if you do want a super easy game, then this is not for you. It is a challenge. Performance was shaky, especially on Steam Deck. Oh, I don't know. I'm playing on a super good PC. I love the difficulty of the game. Yeah, me too. But yeah, let's watch this first. All new Serum Crucible. That's the endgame ARPG thing, right? The roguelike.
Tunes Joyful just resubscribed for 97 months.
No, it's still in early access. Waiting for materials in the house? Yeah. That's what we're gonna have in PoE this thing now too. I liked it a lot. I like this more than Dark Souls. It has a bit of a Hades combat feel to it, but not exactly. It is more like Path of Exile meets Dark Souls. Good super hero. Because I prefer the ARPG top-down look. Okay, so the reason I don't like games like Dark Souls and Elden Ring that much, I do, but the camera tilts me so much. So this solves the entire camera angle. Guy calls it trash and then doesn't explain himself. Yeah, I mean, I have nothing against people calling a game trash or not. They should explain themselves though. But I always feel like I'm getting briefed by the camera. It has a roguelike. Assault weapons, that's new. Yep, WSD movement. When will I start streaming tomorrow? Like 5 PM my time. The graphics look really good? Yeah. A lot of new features. And like I said, we will get to interview one of the developers from Moon Studios at the end of this stream. Oh, that is an improvement. Do we know when it's coming out of early access? No. SSC on Ottoman. It's called No Rest for the Wicked. You can pet the dog. The biggest thing they needed was performance improvements, because you needed a really good PC to run it. I love you, dude. Crucible runs no longer cost embers. Oh, that's sick. So basically, before it cost like this, it was basically cost maps, and I ran out because it was so hard. So I actually couldn't do it. So that's why I stopped. That's actually why I stopped playing. I ran out of the map things. Because it was too hard. It did actually kick my ass.
There are relics of you should see it for yourself.
Okay, thanks, I will. So this is the character I've played quite a lot on. So you can see that like the gear, unlike Dark Souls and stuff, actually has like stats and that kind of stuff on it. Yeah, I play with keyboard and mouse. I don't like console controller for anything. There's like mini quests you can do as well if you need more gold. Oh no. This one is up here, right? Right, I have to refamiliarize myself with the controls. I'm almost tempted to start a new character, but I really want to check out the Crucible.
Lem 250 just subscribed.
Alright. They added more areas to the Black Trench. Oh, cool. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Okay, I'm gonna have to relearn how to parry. Oh god. Don't judge me. Oh god, I can't get a hit off. Okay, we're good. Alright, let's go do the actual dungeon. I might be better dying first so we get full HP though. Warm-up run? Yeah, I can't remember how to parry. It's the warm-up run, boys. It's the warm-up run.
So much
Why kill
past.
men for free? Beat apart the...
There, 3 silver. Man, if I die though, I lose silver. To be fair, let's just go straight to the Crucible and we can die there. Oh, maybe that will cost your ability too? I can't remember. Can't wait for it to be completed? Yeah, same. Right, I should look at the controls because I don't remember how to do the special attack again. Wait. Oh, that's gamepad. I was like, huh? Main hand, item, offhand item.
That's it. The pestilence is taking me.
Shoulder barge.
So, you're a coward then.
Right, where was the Crucible? It was... there. Is this a roguelike? It has a roguelike system in it. So it has a campaign. Right now it's not finished. But they do have a campaign. And then it will have... you know what, let's just eat. It will have like a actual roguelike. With an endgame and replayability and stuff like that. Were they adding... is this patch the multiplayer one or is that the next one? SST anti-fusion. But yeah, it's very pretty. Let's see. I'm gonna ask you if we can do questions from chat too. We'll see. I don't know how much. I think we only have 30 minutes is the thing. Multiplayer is the next
The
patch.
floor of the masonry collapsed, revealing this chamber below. Isn't it remarkable?
It is.
No one's breathing.
What do you think of the graphics, chat?
I believe a deeper ruin lies beyond this seal, but I'm unsure how.
Last
clear
ride better for
some of
bossing
madness.
and more everything. SST better for clearing. They're both good though. 30 minutes, that's it? Yeah, they're very busy at the moment, so they only have 30 minutes. But I figured that's better than nothing. They're adding multiplayer next patch.
Yes, yes, that's it. Your blood was the key.
The camera feels really good. Like, that's my main issue with
The
Dark Souls.
largest Zizaran ruin I've ever seen. And there's that feeling in the air again.
Actual is firing Ziz's laser.
Strange.
Okay. Please don't bully me if I get trashed here, because I haven't played for like 2 months. No, Brandon. Well, that's on YouTube. I mean, it will be more finished on full release. And it's a great thing to like check out when there's PoE downtime and stuff. That's what I usually do.
I think I know what this place was. The ancient ceremony. Each of these steps. What are you waiting?
I cut myself, chat. Angie. You must clear all the enemies in each chamber. So this is a roguelike. Okay, let's try to relearn how to parry. Oh god. Oh god. Oh no. Oh yes. Okay, we almost died on the first enemy, that's fine. You do not gain experiences, but you can collect traces that can be used to invoke effects called echoes at any point during your run. Reroll and view a new set of area. Okay. Oh no. It's fine. That was one of the easiest to parry. You'll get it though. Well, I used to be able to parry them, but you do have to like remember. I hate these. I do a lot of damage. It's just my attack's pretty slow. Oh nice, they've like changed it completely. I remember this one.
A summoner is firing Ziz's laser.
Oh, this one was more annoying before. Oh no!
Slade firing Ziz's laser.
Thank you so much, Slag, and the summoner. Actual, thank you. And then there's usually a big one here. Is your Estus get replenished every time I'm dead? No. You have to craft healing. You have to like craft food. So it's like, it's a bit different than like Dark Souls does it there. To be fair, what I had in one of my runs, but I've never found it since, was passive healing, and that is really nice. One more. Oh! Okay, I hit a parry, that's good. Oh god. Oh, I thought that was straight down, to be fair. Oh no, I started too early. I always do that. Oh no. Isn't he move? Yeah, this is a roguelike dungeon. I wish Dark Souls had this type of camera too. Yeah. I agree. Because the biggest issue for me in Dark Souls is the camera. Use a special ability. So I don't actually remember what key that is. Oh, it's 1, right? Is it just 1? It is 1. Yeah, camera ends up being the hardest boss. Glad to see you streaming on YouTube. I left Twitch after the hot tub meta. That's fair. Although, like, as somebody that does watch Twitch, it's very easy for me just not to tune in to the hot tub streams. I'm glad you're enjoying that I'm streaming on YouTube. It's not easy for me.
Cody Mind the 87 is firing Ziz's laser.
So I usually never. Oh, hello. I usually never play slow attacks like this. In every game, I usually always play like very fast ones, because I like being more mobile and being able to dodge. So this is like a very different playstyle for me. Oh shit. Can you play this with a friend? Next update brings multiplayer. So we are interviewing the developer later, and I have a bunch of questions on that. I have a bunch of questions on a lot of things. Oh god. That was actually something I suggested. It was just gonna be it was just gonna be 2 hours of like streaming the game, but then I was like, how about I interview the developer? How later, can you say? So I'm sponsored for 2 hours, so I'm doing 1:30 of gameplay, and then the last 30 minutes is interviewing the developer. It's a game I actually do like playing more than that, but it's the day before PoE, so I realistically don't have time, you know? Oh! Oh, it was... I didn't see the whole A to continue.
What did it
Ryakone
feel?
7 just
To be a story
resubscribed
to be
for
untold
59
and
months.
That was on you?
again.
I was not paying attention. Yeah, Thomas, it does. Alright, we'll go again. Don't click that. Illegal. I haven't seen this area. Oh! Actually parried. Oh!
Small 42 is firing Ziz's laser. Actually managed to confront and fix and help issue just so I could have a good lead start.
You fixed the health issue just to have a good league start? That's based. Thank you for the 5, dude. Thank you all. Thank you all. See ya. Uh-oh. Oh. It's pretty fun. What's the ecosystem? 10% chance to inflict damage twice. Pickup radius. 5% chance the enemy dies instantly on hit. Oh, that's really good if you have high attack speed. Damage dealt increases by 2% up to 15% after each kill.
4 years.
Oh, okay. Cool, so it is literally a roguelike now. That's kind of cool. I hope I can get a leech. Uh-oh. My god. Oh no. Ow. Oh! No! 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 Don't kill me! We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Sutoria, thank you for the 4-year resub, dude. Old. Can you parry the big ones? I'm running out of food. Definitely running out of food. Reroll all. Enemies deal 10% less damage. Maximum health increased by 50%, but damage dealt reduced by... Oh, that does sound nice.
Stan Diablo just resubscribed for 71 months. 71 is Keener log pop bones. Here is to the next.
Dino. Diablo, thank you, thank you, thank you. 71 months. Oh no. Uh-oh. Oh no. Is this already done with the new PoE League? Haha, no. Just doing a sponsored stream for No Rest for the Wicked. I like the new roguelike idea. Wow, it's even more roguelike now. Oh no. Oh. Oh! Oh, I actually died. I never got back up. Thank you, Fusion. Appreciate it. I'm glad people are enjoying the build guides. Oh, this is bad. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I'm screwed. I have no stamina. Oh my god. Oh yeah, that map is hectic. Jesus. I'm getting trashed. So it's weird. I actually leveled up in here. You don't get XP in here at all anymore. It's just like the roguelike thing. I wonder if you get a reward at the end. How do you like this game? So this is the camera angle I wish Elden Ring and Dark Souls had. Because whenever I play those games, I end up getting giga tilted by the camera. These are new. Oh no. The camera in Dark Souls and Elden Ring sucks? Yeah. I'm not a big fan of that. So how does this work? Now I have none, right? Yeah. Movement speed and attack speeds increase. Oh! Oh, I want that. 5% health on kill. That's huge for me. No, I can't back them. Oh no. I'm poisoned? Or am I? What is it? Maybe I just do less damage. Looks like I'm feeble. Uh-oh. Nope. Is it in bed? Can I hit through walls? No.
Morsa Divenit just resubscribed for 13 months. Hi Ziz, hi chat. Thank you for the SS1 refill. Really hyped to play it.
You're very welcome. It's not going well. Thank you, Morris. Appreciate it. I hope you enjoy it. Oh wait, I did kind of like the idea of this. Respawn after being killed by enemies with 75% of your health, but maximum health reduced by 20. Okay, we'll take that. Yeah, there's pierce on the gloves and the helmet. I don't play with controller, right? Wait, am I not getting 5% health on kill? Regenerate 5% health on kill or stagger. Oh no, I got interrupted. Oh no. It regens slowly. Oh my god. I need to learn how to parry. It's a roguelike now, so it has a roguelike in it. The game is gonna have like a lot of different stuff in it. Okay, I just need to force myself to learn how to parry again. Let's just do that. Okay. Alright, I like these. These are easy. Oh god. Oh no, I forgot it has an extra attack. Oh! Oh no. Did we just start over? Like, yeah, let's just die here. Let's just start over. I don't want to take that much damage early. I always prefer keyboard mouse. Do you know, I know a lot of people are always surprised Sanctum didn't have like more features like this, like more of a roguelike element to it. Tried firing there. I don't know Dadish. Ramping? Dude, I'm so excited for just listening to Quinn say he's ramping. It's gonna be great. Actually gonna be great. Gain 2 additional random echoes. Okay. Oh, cool. Wow. Wait, what? Skip directly to the Linmus. What is the Linmus? A frost snow that freezes nearby enemies upon taking damage. Okay, well, I want to go to the Linmus. Do you want to go to the Linmus with me, chat? Oh, it is pretty much instant, the life.
Vinterblade just resubscribed for 3 months. Been a while without playing, no rest for the wicked.
Sure.
Did they fix the performance issues?
They've updated performance a lot. I will never really have an idea how much performance is increased because my setup never had performance issues. So that's like first world problems for me.
Regeloid is firing, this is later. What's the build you wanna try the most from tomorrow?
SST. Oh, the life on kill is so good for me, dude. Why I didn't talk about the returning Proj that was revealed? It looks insane with SST. No, it doesn't. Why would it? It has no synergy with our build. At all. None. Not even a little bit. Boom, done. It's not easy to make a build like that because it doesn't get a lot of damage. Is there a way for us to see both chats, YouTube and Twitch? Not that I'm aware of. Okay, we're going to the Linmus. That looks like a boss. I'm sure this is just a friendly NPC. Right, chat? He seems nice. They just probably have a summoning animation for this vendor. That's Swedish. He seems friendly. Actually, does seem friendly. Wait, he genuinely actually does seem friendly. Oh, he actually is friendly. I was joking. I was like trying to make a good clip, but he unironically is friendly. That backfired. That's funny. Exalting items. Exalting an item will raise its primary stats and increase the benefits. Cannot be undone. Claim seeds. Own 7. So I need to get more seeds so I can give him my seed. Visually, this game is probably a 10 out of 10. Yeah. It's very good. Hello. I love you. No. Huh? Oh, yes. Yes. That'd be great. Nothing. Liam is such a cool aesthetic. Yeah. It has a bit of a, I don't know if you guys get this, but for me it has a bit of a Darkest Dungeon vibe. You can't just give everybody your seeds, sis. You know, he looks like a nice guy. 1 or 2? I mean, they're very similar art style in both, no? Oh, they're... No, I should have rushed more. I forgot I had that... Oh my god, that is so OP then. Oh, that is so busted. So everything, I can just rush everything at the start of each.
Subbing 62 months. Wow. Thanks for helping us flex.
Very welcome. Oh no, I'm slowed because of the water. Man, I had really good... I had really good buffs. Man... And I don't... Okay, let's go look and see if I can upgrade anything. I also need more food. Oh, what's she gonna tell me?
What did it feel like? Look, Sarah.
Yes, Marv.
We remembered forever.
It does.
Down as a story.
It sure does. Lost Lou. Sohan, thank you for the sub.
Zohankaku 88 is firing Ziz's laser.
Alright. What's the benefit of running Crucibles? I don't know. Before there was a big boss at the end that was really hard to kill. It was actually so hard to kill that
28 months. Looking
it was,
forward to
I
the
did a
new league
14-hour
tomorrow.
stream or 12-hour stream and I couldn't kill him. So he's hard. I don't use the shield. Like I don't really use the shield. I mostly just use this. Didn't want to fire my laser. Unlucky. You don't get a choice. Oh, let's see. Before there was loot in there and stuff. I have a lot of cool weapons too. I'm guessing there's loot in there if you can finish a run, but it's too hard. It's too hard. Oh, nice, Ender.
Skin bastards always nibble and never bite.
Serum? On alert.
This was a normal stream for once? Yeah, we're not testing now.
I'll see you later.
We're not testing now. What was it I needed? More items to be carried. I think I need food. Where was the chef again? Here. No, there's a on the next thing. The game is 20% off right now in Steam. I just picked it up if anyone was considering. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's definitely worth. If you're planning on getting it.
Take your pick.
Okay.
Every day clean is a blessing as far as I'm concerned.
This is called No Rest for the Wicked, made by the devs that made Ori and the Blind Forest. So they've made like a lot of successful games. This is a very large pivot for them. I'm just making food and going back in.
Def just resubscribed for 4 months. Hazes, have you gone into the new Crucible?
Yes. Thank you, dude.
Not all could hear your stomach.
I really like the story from what I've seen. Yeah, it's decent. I don't care that much about story. I mostly just want like, oh, we don't need that many. I mostly just want good replayability and like a fun grind, you know? That's what I'm looking for. What was the other thing I needed? Carp and... Yeah, we can look at the house in a bit too. Okay, now a bunch more food. Let's go back in. Just running out of skill points, Hessie. But yeah, you can use that.
Always go with the grain.
Bowler! Bowler! On alert.
Alright, let's go back in. This is still early access, yeah. We're still putting out large updates and stuff. Oh. They've just changed the Crucible to be even more roguelike. I'm curious why the switch from Lacerate to SST? I don't understand the question. I haven't switched from Lacerate to SST. I have 2 different build guides. Right. Let's see. How much easier is it to parry when you have a shield? Ow. My god. Oh, I don't know if I can parry this one because it's ranged. Same.
To the stream.
Oh no, I missed. I missed the other thing instead. Do I just... That's an elevator, right? People seem to dislike the timers in this game. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because PoE next season, tomorrow, is having the same thing. So it will be interesting to see how people feel. Oh, oh, oh no! I don't like this. Oh, I do really like that the enemies hit each other. It's not a lot. Timers, like crafting timers. So this is a similar thing that's coming to Pee-wee next league. It just says like you can build things in your house and in the town, and they take some of them, like the longer ones, take hours to complete. A lot of people don't like that because of like mobile gaming has it as like features like that as things you can pay to speed up. But in this, it's just a part of the game. I don't mind timers when you can't pay to speed it up. Like, there's another game called Warframe that has similar features, but there you can like pay money to speed it up. And with that type of design, then it ends up being like a really not fun timer. Because it gets like made longer just to get money from you. Whereas this has no like monetization. Ooh, focus regenerates over time. I definitely want that. But I want this first. I'll take that next. Yeah, I am on several of my builds, Monkeys.
The voices whisper of your end.
Yeah, it is a bit like Dark Souls and PoE. So it has the PoE camera angle, and it has like gear, and then it is very, very Dark Soulsy. So it's kind of just like its own genre. Like it's kind of just like a new thing. Oh no! Oh dude, I have so much lifesteal now. I don't think I'll die again. Let's see. Okay, and then now we take this. Boom. This? Oh, I'm so excited to get that again. Then I just need to remember to rush. Yeah, it's a isometric Souls-like RPG. Oh no. Oh no. I'm always on full health now. This is so OP. Nothing, did nothing. Unless I'll fall down, that could kill me. Boom. Cut leech on hit, yeah. It reduces my max health, and now I got everything is stunned for, was it 20 seconds? Oh, this is a bad map for that. Oh no, there's traps. Oh no. Oh, this is a terrible area. Oh no. I don't like these traps. Oh god. Oh god. I'm burning. Right, I need to start using my focus. I can't remember if it's the 1 or 2 that was really good. Can I see on my weapon what they do again? Thorn, Scream, Slashing, Spin, and Berserk Flurry. So it's 2 I want to use, really. Enemies deals 10% less damage. Oh. I'll reroll next, I think. He's healing so much. Yeah, I got, it's also I have less health now. I got what, a thing that, like, oh. Hi! I don't think I have enough for you. Yeah, it still does have 8. This looks so much better than the original Crucible, yeah.
Kubo Garbo is firing Ziz's laser. Hey, just want to win your Giga League spot. 3.6 points.
Get stunned though. Oh no! I guess the stunned is not that OP. Uh-oh. Because they don't always spawn at the start. It's good for some though. I love the leech, dude. It's so OP. Okay, I think we reroll all. Maximum health increased by 50, but damage dealt is reduced by 25. Damage doubled, maximum health halved. Damage doubled? Sure, they'll just be like one-hitting everything. This is fine. What could go wrong? Oh no, this is another bad one to have them stunned at. Wait, this does not feel like double damage. Wait, how are you stunned? I almost died from one hit! Oh, I made mistakes. Okay, but I do 2 things. Okay, can I get that thing now? Okay, that's huge. Health increased by 30%, but stamina regeneration. That's fine for me. I don't really need a lot of stamina. Okay, usually I can like get this one to suicide. Oh, not anymore. Right, how fast is that regen? Oh, that's pretty fast. That is pretty fast. Oh, this is so sketchy with my health now. Yeah, the lighting, the graphics are immaculate. They are immaculate. So actually both the founders are going to be joining for an interview later. So we had 2 developers. Let's see, one sec. Okay, cool. Oh, an enemy in the water? Man, at least like small bites do nothing to me now.
Arathorn is firing Ziza's laser.
Thank you, Arathorn. Good to see you, man. How you doing? What kind of game is it? It's a new genre, basically. It's a combination of like ARPGs, Dark Souls. Like, it's just like a very unique game. It's like Souls, ARPG. Oh my god, I almost get one hit. I did not have the best ideas. Honestly, maybe now I do my max health increased by 50%. No, I do the stamina regen. Oh, it's so nice for these. Let me rush and grab the other one. No! No! Oh my god. Okay, this works. That was a really good tactic. That worked perfectly. That's exactly what I had planned. Damage dealt reduced. Oh, and then enemies deal less damage. That would be really good next. Because I don't need this much damage. Oh no, this is the boss. Is he gonna be paralyzed? He is. Oh no.
Free me!
This thing is crazy health.
Eternity is a prison!
No! No! I was about to use my one! Oh, I would have leashed to full! Oh, no! Oh, that's so hard! How am I supposed to beat that? The real-time upgrades is for housing and stuff. That's for like upgrading the town. Took me some time to farm my lunch, but got really nice gear. Okay. I don't think I can go glass cannon. I think I want to go leech and really high health. My god. I shouldn't have taken... The stamina reduction did kill me. You're right. You're right. Okay, I'm gonna bear back real quick. Holy. It's very hard. Right. Yeah, you can use fists in this game. Alright, let's try again. Let's see. Oh, is that straight down? Oh, I don't like these traps. No, why'd I miss? Oh, okay, they don't do that much. Enemies explode on kill is so good, yeah. Alright, any leech. I mean, this is nice. This is realistically nice. Skip to the next chamber. Movement speed and attack speed increased by 15%, but focus is removed. Honestly, pretty tempting because I don't do that much focus right now. Awesome, Kiki. Thank you. Thank you. I'll set that up in a sec. Appreciate it. No, but we can ask that. I'm interviewing the two founders in not too long. No. Oh no. You know, I hate that I can no. I hate that I can get knocked out of the focus abilities. I guess it'd be too strong if you couldn't. But it's so frustrating to use it and get stunned out. So they should be joining me in like 6 minutes. I'm just gonna make sure that they're ready. Just as in this game almost as much as I died in PoE. I died one time last thing. Is this a controller game? Yes, but controller should, in my opinion, not be used for video games. That is my based opinion. I'm not a big controller fan. I even play Dark Souls with a mouse and keyboard. I say this as I'm getting absolutely owned. Maybe I'd be doing better with a controller. Ah! Okay, there's two of them. There's one of me. Rip consoles? I wish. PC gaming! Yeah, it's made by the same people who made Ori and the Will o' the Wisp. Uh-oh. Oh. Man, I always go for fast attacks usually. The devs just told me I need to get my damage up. Just double checking with them. And then let's see. I need to edit my I need to edit because there is 2 devs joining us, not just one. I'm just gonna put in the new overlay. There, and then we just need to adjust cameras. No, I don't play Zelda. Oh my god, okay. I should not have aggroed 3. Okay, I'm screwed here. I love what they've done with the new Crucible though, with the actual very roguelike now, because before there was none of the upgrades and stuff. No, we do sometimes do that though, Smurfy. Oh my god. I'm so dead here. That's fine. I'm gonna set up the interview anyway. That's fine. Man, the devs are gonna make fun of me. To be fair, I got to the last boss and the last boss is hard. Let's see. Let me mute the game while we're setting up. Let's see. You just went too hard into the health tree. Crucible is all about picking your battles, making a build on top of your build. True. Let's see. All right. Base devs, yeah, I'm excited. It's funny because when I got like the first time they wanted to sponsor me, my wife was so excited because she loves Ori. Like she loves the Ori games. Let's see. Let's see. Right, we just need one of the devs to accept the friends request so I can make the group come and then we're ready. Must be hella nice to have a gaming wife. She doesn't actually do a lot of gaming. There, and then I'm going to disable my camera on stream so I can add it in their call so they can see me. And I'll just pull my camera from there. All right, I'm going to call them and then set up. Hello.
Hey.
How you doing?
Zizaran, are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? Let's see. Yeah, thank you for doing this. I think this would be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I just had to mute your chat, your stream, because I was just watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
we go.
Hello.
Hey, just so we're not doing anything embarrassing on the stream, how do I pronounce your name?
Ziz.
Just Ziz?
Just Ziz, yeah.
And the full would be Zizaran?
Yeah, Zizaran. Yes,
Zizaran.
sir.
I think there's a joke in there about the Crucible and you doing a Zizaran.
I was running a lot there, yeah.
I'll do that one.
And how do I pronounce your name? Gennady?
Gennady.
Gennady, okay.
Gennady, yep. Thomas is Tumas.
Okay, Tumas and Gennady. Those are tricky names.
Very, very complex.
Where are you guys from?
I'm from beautiful Vienna, Austria.
Ah.
Tel Aviv here.
Awesome. I have not been to either of those countries yet.
It's never too late.
That's true. That's true. All right.
So how long would you like us to stay on? I mean, we're pretty open. As you can imagine, a lot is happening here with the update, but it seems like it's going okay.
Probably
so
a little bit under an hour. I first thought it was only you guys had time for 30 minutes, so I roughly had questions for that. We can take some questions from chat as well and see how we go.
There might be some things where we will just, say, look, we're not yet able to say, right? Because certain things we're still thinking about, and we'll probably need to do a proper announcement.
Absolutely.
I think there were
no problem.
Some questions about, multiplayer trading and things like that.
Yeah, no problem.
Whatever Thomas is comfortable answering without making public commitments, I guess.
Awesome.
Gennady, just so you know, you're already live.
Yes, we are already live. We are now fully set up with the overlay and everything. So,
Oh, amazing.
yeah, we are pretty much ready to go here. So, thank you both so much for joining me here for this interview. And I figured what better way to start but with you introducing yourselves and telling me a little bit about what you do on the company.
I'll start. I'm Thomas Mahler. I'm the game director. I'm doing directing, right? I'm the main, like the head designer basically of the game, and basically laying out the direction of where everything is heading.
Yeah.
Awesome.
My name is Gennady. I'm the other co-founder, and I do everything tech related, also a little bit of tech art, lots of production, also helping on the assets recently, all of the trailers and reels and on all of that kind of stuff, and just really passionate about the product and making everything as polished and juicy and satisfying. And when you have the GIP system, you cut stuff. I think that's the kind of thing I really thrive on. So you'll see more of that.
Very cool. I mean, like the graphics are immaculate. Like that's what people were talking about a lot, and they were even better than the last time I played. Performance seems better, so like really, really good job on that. It's a very, very cool art style.
I mean, we always had an amazing art team, right? You already saw this on the Ori games and so on. We value that a lot, that our games look very unique, right? Like our thing is always that even if you see a small thumbnail of our games, that you can immediately tell, oh, this is a Moon Studios game. So yeah, we just keep that going, and we kind of like swim against the tide a little bit with that, right? Where everybody is doing like high polygonal stuff and so on. We always make sure everything looks painted, and like the painting comes to life.
It's very cool. I did want to ask about that. This is a very different style of game from Ori. So like when I first heard about this, I was like, very, very surprised. My wife is a big fan of Ori. So yeah, very different. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Like it's a big segue almost, right? Big difference. Like what was the decision making there?
It started basically with us, like we always saw Ori as our Mario because it was very platforming based and so on, right? And then back in like 2016, I think it was, I had this whole feeling of like, man, what if, we delivered Ori now? What if Moon Studios as a next game would make Zelda, right? So we would follow the same trajectory as Nintendo did back in 85, 86. And so I started making this little prototype that was a top-down action adventure thing, right? And then at some point we were like, no, let's fucking create the coolest RPG we could imagine.
2015, actually. That was 2015.
Oh yeah, December 2015. Yeah.
We actually pitched this project at DICE Awards in the hotel in Las Vegas. While we were nominated, I think Ori took like 3 awards, which was incredible. Ori and the Blind Forest. And while we were just preparing for that big evening, having no idea if we would win anything, we were already showing this project to see if there was any interest with all kinds of publishers.
Very cool. That is very cool. So people have been asking me, like, is this an RPG? Is it like Dark Souls? And I've been like, well, it's kind of like its own thing. It's almost like a new genre of game.
Thank you. Thank you. Finally.
But like, that's what I want to ask you about. Like, what type of games like inspired this? Because it's like, it's so much from like other styles. It's so different. It's a little bit Dark Souls. It's a little bit ARPGs with like the itemizations, the camera. Yeah.
Well, the way it started is I loved playing Diablo 2 in the early 2000s, right? And was like, oh my God, imagine what, like if this game is already that, right? Imagine what kind of ARPGs we'd be playing 10 years down the line or 15 years down the line and so on, right? And to me, I didn't see the advancements that I wanted to see in the genre, right? So we always kind of like thought, yeah, but if they do Diablo 3 or Diablo 4, they might blow it out of proportion, right? And we felt like that didn't really happen. Like there were so many ideas that we had for where we want to see the genre heading that we just said at some point, screw it, we'll do it ourselves. We made Ori now. Now we want to tackle an ARPG as the next thing. And then we completely opened up the whole thing, right? Like, so what can we do in that genre that... So what?
Only took 7 years from that point in time of like, fuck it, let's do our own ARPG. But
yeah, like making an ARPG is stupid hard. Like it's really complex. But that was the whole idea, that we just basically look at, that we don't just look at, hey, let's make another Diablo clone, right? But that we look at, no, so let's start from scratch, right? Like how can you really improve that genre? And it started with combat, right? Do you really still do the point and click combat? Or do you follow the same thing where it's like everything explodes on screen as fast as possible and so on? And we thought, no, like there's Monster Hunter and Dark Souls. They do more the kind of combat that we like, right? Where it's like very reactive and you have to think and it's very strategical and so on. So it was that. Then we wanted multiplayer to be completely crazy, and that is still coming, right? Like that whole multiplayer update is still coming. We wanted that to be on a completely different level than what you typically see in a Diablo-style game or in Souls and so on. We wanted to introduce crazy shit in ARPGs like housing and farming and all of that, right? So that stuff, like I think, yes, it is very much its own thing. And it's cool that people see that now, right? Because there was always this huge discussion in the team, right? Like, can we make all of this fit together? But I think we can. And I think, like the seeds are already laid now.
Absolutely. And it does definitely have a bit of a Dark Souls feel to it as well. What I particularly like there is, well, this game made me wish Dark Souls had this camera angle. Because for me, like Elden Ring, Dark Souls, I'm fighting a boss and suddenly the camera is like zoomed into my back and I can't see the boss anymore. And I'm like, what
and
is
you only
happening?
see your butt.
Yeah, I'm like, this is really frustrating. So I really like that. What were like the favorite elements of games like Dark Souls that you wanted to like have?
I think we should actually zoom in on the whole camera topic if you'd like, because I do think that there is quite a bit of actual effort that's going on behind the scenes, because if you would have just kept the camera top down and static, I don't think you would have gotten the same feel, because we always have this thing where what you do get in Dark Souls when you have this third person camera perspective is it's extremely immersive, right? Everything feels big. The creatures, the enemies, the bosses, they feel larger than life.
Yeah.
Your character actions are very, very clear, in terms of the animation and everything, because your character is huge on screen. But then you cannot do these crazy dashes, right? Like if you want to just dash back like crazy, then you would just basically go into the camera, right? It would be very jarring. Or if you dash forward, or just even controlling the camera all the time, that takes a lot of your thumb, constantly being engaged with that, which makes the control scheme a lot more complicated. And you just don't want to do it. So our camera is kind of like a blend where it's not going to lower itself as low as Dark Souls, but it's also not going to be static and sort of this isometric perspective, because that feels boring. So we very quickly felt that the camera is actually an invisible actor that you just don't think about, but it's constantly there to emphasize the action. So what it will do, it will always frame the action in a very, very intelligent way, where if you're fighting something, it zooms in. If you're pulling back, it's going to zoom out, and it will always try to frame the action in a way that's really immersive and readable. And I really love that, because we had a really big debate in the team if we should even do this. I mean, Thomas likes everything zoomed out like it's a miniature on screen. I don't know why, maybe because he's too tall and it's just used to see the world that way. But, it is super fun that nobody complains about this, that we've nailed this camera, that it just does what it needs to do and you don't have to control it. And I think that's a big achievement of our gameplay tech team.
It's down to feeling as well, right? Like if you play a Dark Souls game and you play Artorias or any of the bosses, right? Like you always have this thing of like, man, they do these really cool moves. Like they do these somersaults and dash forward and all of that, right? And you as a player, you're like hitting things, like because you can't do those moves, right? So, and what happened once we actually did the whole camera thing was that, well, your thumb is not the analog stick anymore. You don't have to move your mouse around to kind of like just move the camera, right? So you can do these crazy rune attacks and all of the stuff where it's like, oh my god, I can, throw my my blade forward and then get teleported, or jump into the air and like do all of those crazy things that would be much harder to do if the camera is like constantly up in your butt, basically.
Yeah. And did you try any other like different camera angles before you landed on this one?
No, it was always like from the start we were like, no, we'll do top-down camera because it's just for playability, right? To see where the enemies are, and for those kind of things that we wanted to do, it was always like, even the prototype back then was a top-down thing.
Yeah. Well, we do have a fun experiment in the team, which is a first-person mode, and it's very broken and very cool looking. So
that sounds super interesting. Wow. Next we'll have VR, right?
Which is actually something we did consider, but we were thinking about it more like a top-down, VR experience.
Oh wow, interesting. I was just
we had a mode at some point, like we had that implemented actually at some point in our prototype, in one of the earlier prototypes, where it's like the VR thing was almost like looking down at the table and you could look up and see the other areas in the distance and so on. It was pretty cool, but yeah.
That's
We'll
so
see.
interesting.
We can still do that.
Yeah, no, that's very cool. And so we just had the big Crucible update that just released. I'd love to hear you just talk about a little bit about the new Crucible, because it's very different from the last time I played with the roguelike mechanic, which was very like surface level before, now being like a real roguelike mechanic. So yeah, tell me a little bit about the update.
Yeah, well, maybe before we go, I would actually love to hear from you. What did you think?
So the first time I played it, I was like, the campaign was fun. I liked the roguelike thing, although it felt slightly different, but last time it felt like, at least, I don't know if this is the case, but it felt like there was like scaling. Like if I leveled, the monsters got harder too. So I never felt like I was really gaining any power. That feels different now as well. Plus, I really like that you can like already with just like an hour of trying the new one, I was finding like several like broken combos. Like, oh my god, this leech is so OP. Now I want to like look for that every time. I accidentally like bricked my build by getting like 2 little stamina regen. And I was like, oh no, I can't attack this boss anymore. Like this is a terrible mistake. So that adds a really, really like cool element to it.
That's always what we're trying to do, right? Like with any of the effects that we do and so on, a lot of times in ARPGs, what I'm seeing is like, oh, gain 0.5% more of this or that, right? And we always try to err more on the side of, no, let's give the player a lot of power because you die easily anyway. Like I just watched your live stream with the whole lifesteal thing, right? But then you kind of figure out, oh shit, if I just go down the health tree, right, and I just get myself health and health and health, I might not have the most balanced build for the end boss, right?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So you kind of like have to balance it. You kind of have to understand the mode. The other advice I would give you, right, is that there's the Seneschal, which you met, where you were scared that it's a boss. It's not. It's just a vendor, right? And you can actually exalt your weapons there. So you can get further upgrades than you were till now, right? And that is actually super powerful.
Yeah.
So it's just really the big thing about the Crucible now, like even for the launch, we just couldn't get it done, right? We always wanted to add a mode that is inspired by Diablo 1, basically, right? What I loved about Diablo 1 was just the tightness of like, oh, you know, you're in Tristram, and then you just have to go 15 levels down, right? How hard can that be, right? And it's like, that's the entire game. And we thought, man, wouldn't that be great for an end game, like one end game mode being that, where it's just, hey, here's play your ARPG, right? Then you get towards the end game, and then it's like, okay, the end game is roguelike, right? Or roguelite, basically. And I thought that would always be really fun. That's just one of the things that we're planning for end game. But it's one of the cool ones, because with roguelites, like people can spend hundreds of hours and like really get really good at the game and so on, and just enjoy the shit out of it by just building a build on top of your build. And what a fucking balancing nightmare that was now. So
I bet.
you know,
I bet. I was
yeah.
gonna ask you actually. Like, I noticed that you took both XP and loot out of the roguelike. Is that something you're going to experiment?
We have a discussion about that in the team still. We'll see.
That's what I was going to ask, because I was like, I do quite like that you were maybe not leveling up, but at least loot, like getting, because now I'm guessing that I wasn't able to kill the boss, but like what happens when you kill the boss? Like what kind of reward do you get?
You still get the loot, right? So you still get all these, you know, tier 3 rewards and so on. So you still get that. But there's a lot of stuff coming. We can't just plan for what is in the game right now, right? We also have to plan already for what is coming now very soon, right? Like, and so this is the first move, basically. Like, we're not anywhere close to done with No Rest for the Wicked, right? There's so much coming, and so everything gets prepared for what's to come.
How much larger do you think the Crucible is going to be?
Well, we still have a few things that actually didn't even make it into this one. So there's probably going to be Crucible Part 2 at some point.
So the cool thing that I love about No Rest for the Wicked in general. Sorry, Gennady, I don't know if did I interrupt you, because we have a bit of lag there.
It's all right.
Okay. So I mean, the cool thing, the thing that I love about No Rest for the Wicked in general, right, is that it's almost like multiple games in one, right? Mm-hmm. So we could have gone and like made a roguelite thing, right? Or we could have gone and just made an ARPG, right? But we can combine those things, and you know, in this one world, right, where you basically give people a forever game. And that's the thing that we ultimately really, really enjoy. With the Crucible, for example, I don't know if we should tease this now, right? But there are other statues. Like right now, you only have this one statue, this one pedestal that you can interact with. Yeah. But there are others, right? And now you can kind of like imagine, okay, there's way more stuff coming than just what you played right now.
Very cool.
Well, also we love to do this with the community. Like this is the whole thing with early access. This is why we wanted to do this, is that you can be extremely quick with just trying things, right? And seeing like, oh, this is cool. Okay, let's do more of that. Let's try this idea. Let's try that idea. And I think the whole snackable, we call it snackable experience with the Crucible, is that you can spend 10 minutes, right, on your break, on your Steam Deck. Hopefully now, performs really well, so you can really enjoy that at 50 to 60 frames per second. And it's just cool. You don't have to be very committed. It's like, oh, I'm going to do a big run in the overworld or do this or that. You can just have this snackable fun. And every single time you do a run, it's different. Every single time it feels different. It looks different. You have different enemies. The challenge varies. Everything just feels unpredictable in the experience you're going to get. And I think there's just something different about that versus the overworld, and different in a way that's addictive, right? You go like, okay, I want to try another one because I'm not sure what I'm going to get.
Yeah.
Why you don't get all of the loot yet or the XP for that, I think that is something we will still be discussing. Thomas is very certain he's not, it breaks all the designs. But I think this is part of early access, is to really explore what we could do and do the right thing by the product, right? It's really not.
I really appreciate the community in general, right? Like the whole thing about early access. And I think that just speaks to the heart of ARPGs, right? Like we look at what all these ARPG fans want, right? And just the whole idea that we can put something out there, even if it's not like final packaged product or something, right? That they play it, they give us a ton of feedback, and we can adjust things and perfect things based on that. With the Ori games, we always had, on this date, it needs to be final and perfect, right? But it's like, but what if we could squeeze 5% more fun out of it, or 10% more fun out of it, right? And I think that's just kind of like in our DNA, that just perfecting games and then having this back and forth with the community is just the best.
And I think we have to be vulnerable a little bit, right? Even today, where we had this debate in the team of like, oh, there were a few things we still wanted to fix, and we're perfectionists at heart, and we're like, should we delay the update or should we stick to the time, right? And there's always that tension. And today we decided, no, we're shipping on time. This is the date, this is the time, and if something's off, we will just hot patch this and we will react, right? And I think there's that vulnerability that I think as a developer you have to have when you're doing early access, when you are building something with the community.
Yeah, I think that's very important. I always really appreciate it when devs are a little bit humble. It's like, oh, like this didn't go after plan, this is what we're going to do instead. Just talk to your community, and people generally appreciate that quite a lot, I think.
We love that a lot. It's just the best, right? That you like. I have literally hundreds of people adding me on Discord constantly, right? And just telling me, hey, can you guys add this or add that and so on. And I always, like, when I was younger, right? Like, it would have been my dream to kind of like talk to the people at Blizzard who make Diablo 2 or something, right? And I think that's just cool. Talking to the folks who actually play the game, who enjoy it, who have their own ideas and dreams and so on. And then you're like, it feels good to just tell them, yes, that stuff is coming, wait for it.
That's awesome. And speaking of what's coming, multiplayer is coming next, and I have a lot of questions about multiplayer. How are you guys going to approach things like an economy and trading and even like loot distribution?
Yeah, so we went through that stuff a lot, right? Like we started with loot that was shared, right? But then we ultimately went to first come, first serve, because we really like it when there is discussion happening, right? When it's like not everybody like, hey, I killed this boss and like 4 times the same weapon drops and everybody has it now, right? No, there should in multiplayer, what we want to do to a large degree is this whole thing of like, I really have to communicate with others, right? And it's a tough choice, and it's this whole, it's this whole, hey, who buys a house, for example, right? In multiplayer, like the immediate thing is, who can afford the coolest place, in Sacrament and so on, right? So we went with that. And then economy-wise, we're also doing that thing where we just want to allow for trading, right? Like there's all this, hey, in ARPGs, a lot of times it gets limited and so on, right? And we just, fuck it, let's just make it all completely free. Because there's, if people like that really gives it that whole thing of like items being valuable and so on, right? And just it feeling really good that, you can trade your stuff. So that's the direction that we're heading into.
I think that the important thing for people to know is that, while we haven't shipped this yet, everything we've done over the last 7 years was built for multiplayer, co-op, and PvP from the ground up. Like literally every single thing that is in the game supports that. And our networking model, which we will talk about a lot, it's basically built for fighting games, but it's scaled to a 3D action RPG. So the input response, the lack of rubber banding or lag is going to be something that I think a lot of people will be very surprised by, because this game is networked very differently than any other game in this genre. As Thomas was saying, in Dark Souls or whatever, it's like it almost felt like the multiplayer is a second, sort of second-class citizen. Here, multiplayer is the first-class citizen. Everything is designed and built for it. So, when are we going to ship this? We're working on a big roadmap update, and we're still learning a lot from, what we've done with the launch and how we want to do this. Of course, it's the most requested feature, and it's something that everybody wants to see as soon as possible. But I think for us, it's really important to nail not just a particular update that people really want, but the entire arc of early access that leads us to 1.0. It has to be one story that makes sense, right? So we cannot just focus on specific things. We have to tell a cohesive story, and maybe there are things we still need to do before multiplayer can really work or really work well. Or maybe we will decide to shift multiplayer to earlier and just make sure we can design for that and get the input earlier. So this is the beauty of early access. At some point, we don't quite know. We're still debating. We're still thinking about it. But what we do, we'll do it in the right way.
Let me say one thing. So regarding multiplayer, what we want to do there is just like from the start, we kind of like set out to do it differently than how Diablo or Dark Souls have done it. Because usually what you have is, hey, I can host a game, and then some other player joins, and then we play for a little bit together, right? But it's never been really a cohesive thing, right? So our multiplayer works more in the way that you share a realm together, and then you have that feeling of like, hey, oh my God, Sis did these Crucible runs the whole night, and he unlock these things, right? Whereas your buddy actually did another thing, and you see those upgrades in Sacrament, and then you just play, right? So it's almost like a mini MMORPG in that sense, right? You just play, and you see your buddy like, oh my God, he's out there fishing, and like it's just that kind of like believable open world is what we're looking for.
So that will sort of give like a big feeling of like, basically like if I had a Valheim server with a friend of mine and he's progressing the world, well, oh, that's so cool. I didn't think it was going to be anything like that at all.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going for. So that you could wake up in the morning, just open up the game, right, and go, oh my God, James did all of that stuff now, and he has a better house than me now. Well, that's not going to happen, right? And you see that even if he's offline. So that also means that if the host goes offline, right, it doesn't matter, right, because the realm is still there, and you just share that together, right? So that feeling of like it's almost like a family, right? Where it's like, hey, you just share that thing together, and like everybody contributes to it. That's why cool. When you contribute materials to vendors or so on, right, it says contribute instead of just adding it, because everybody kind of like has to share.
Now, I do see one issue with this that I would love to hear your thoughts on. Like, how is it going to work with like at the moment when you're progressing the world and things, it feels like the world scales up a little bit, becomes a little bit more difficult. What happens if I'm playing 4 hours a day, but my friend Steel Mage, he's playing 20 hours a day? Suddenly the world is like really difficult. Am I going to get screwed by that and you have to communicate with your friends, or are you going to have some sort of like limit on the scaling?
To some degree. So you can screw your buddy over if you extensively play way more than him, right? But I think what will happen ultimately is that people will have their single player realms just like they do right now, and then they'll have another realm where they play multiplayer, right? Yeah. And then it's almost like a D&D session, right? Where it's like you don't play D&D if 2 of your buddies are not there or something, right? True. You play it together. And generally speaking, we don't want to put kind of like these arbitrary limits and so on people, right? Like it's just like, hey, if people want to play a certain way, let's allow them to play that way, right? And you said this thing before about like, hey, your wife played Ori and so on, right? Like that's the kind of thing that we're really interested in, right? That Wicked could ultimately become this kind of game, because you already have housing in Wicked and so on, right? We're also adding a farming update and so on. We always wanted to do this thing where it's like, well, if somebody wants to be just the merchant of the town or the lumberjack of the town or something, right, that you can live out that role-playing fantasy, where somebody else might just go and slash monsters and so on, right? So that's also a really big thing that we want to accomplish, even to the point where it's like, hey, you could buy a house but turn it into a shop by just having these little stalls outside and like, hey, here's the stuff that I'm selling, right? And I'll give it a price. And then everybody else on the realm just sees that price, right? And you essentially turn yourself into a merchant.
Very cool. Wow, there's like so many different features. I'm very excited to hear that. I did have a question again about multiplayer, which I feel like is almost pre-answered. But will all the content in the game be accessible in multiplayer, or will there be some things that will be like you can only do when you're alone?
I think it's just the prologue maybe that will be locked off. So the first tutorial section, everything else is shared.
Cool.
Yep, you can just do everything together. Well, no, that's the nice thing, right? Like one person could be in this area, the other person could be in this area, and then you randomly just meet because the realm is always there.
Yeah. How often do you see the game like having new seasons or wipes and stuff like that once it's out of early access?
Yeah, so that's something that we're still discussing right now. There's a lot of feedback coming in from even like realm modifiers and that kind of thing, right? And like, hey, how do people want to play the game and so on? We discussed seasons at the start. At the start, I was a little bit against that, right? Because of this whole wipe thing. The whole, hey, you build up your town and then wait, do you have to do that every single time and so on, right? But it is a lot of fun to kind of like just play the game again. Like, especially now with this update, I think it would be a lot of fun for a lot of people. Like, just start a new character on a new realm, right? And see all the things that we improved and so on. Because if you already have a maxed out character, you might not see quite a few of the things that we added now and so on, right? So it's something that we're actively discussing. We're not 100% yet on exactly, how do we want to go about this? And we'll see, right? Like we'll communicate with everybody once we know for sure.
I think sometimes people ask questions and they want to know specific answers to specific questions. Like, will there ever be a wipe? Will there be a wipe in early access? Will there be a wipe in 1.0? Are you going to do seasons this way? Are you going to do expansions? All of this. And I think that the answer is, of course, we don't want to do wipes, right? That is a disruptive thing. There are reasons to do wipes. But throughout early access, we try to do as little as possible of that. But the more important thing, I think, for us to develop with the community is this trust of us knowing how to shepherd this project throughout this process of early access and then beyond. Yeah. And what is really important for us is to make the right decisions by the product, right? So the North Star isn't, okay, we're not going to ever do wipes, right? Or we're not going to do this, or we're going to do this. The North Star is what is really the right investment for us and the right decision for this product to reach its full potential, right? For the most amount of people to have fun. So if that is our North principle, and for whatever reason, technical, creative, or other, we need to do a wipe, right? Because it's just necessary for us to hit that bigger vision, then we will figure out a way to do it in the way that's the least disruptive, but that's the decision we will make. It's really hard to sort of commit to these things in a vacuum without having the values that we kind of bring here in terms of how we want to do this. And I think that is the most important thing. And hopefully, there will be things we will do that people will not like. There will be things that we will do that maybe will affect certain people's save files and things like that. But it's all part of the process to really create something special. And hopefully, we build that trust with the community over time that even if people go, okay, why did they do it this way? They trust us that there's a lot of thinking behind it, and that there is a really good end goal, and they should trust us, right? They should give it a shot. Like, we're hearing some people go, why did they do roguelite, right? Why are they mixing this? Like, we thought this game, we thought, we put this game in a box, right? Yeah. People like to put experiences in a box. Why did you make it a roguelite? And it's like, try it. Tell us what you think. And when you try it, then it might make sense to you that this is a perfect. There's another thing that's coming, right? That we already kind of announced, farming, right? And a lot of people were very curious about resource collection, right? It's like when we showed the trailer. I mean, we love to see people's reactions to every trailer we make, and we specifically put in the tree cutting, and the harvest, the fishing in the trailer, like as a quick cut. And you really see how people, watch the trailer. They go, "Oh, I get what this game is." And then you show them the cutting of trees and the fishing, and people go, "Oh, what is this game? Like, I'm not getting this anymore," right? And I think that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to, this is your early question of, well, what is this game, and
Yeah.
what are the inspirations you guys are drawing from? And it's really things that excite us, things that we think are really fun in video games, and let's try to put it together in one experience. And we think about this game as a platform, not as a particular copy of a particular other genre or a particular other game, but we're going to take all of these cool experiences that we like from other games, inspirations, ideas. We're going to put our own twist on it. We're going to put our own ideas in. We're going to iterate on it with the community for as long as it needs to be a really good product. And that's hopefully something that many people will enjoy and appreciate.
I think the thing that is really important to me is that because to me, like, I don't want to sound too negative. I have kind of like this thing that sometimes I say things that are taken as like, oh my God, I'm saying these negative things about other developers and so on. But if you look at the ARPG genre over the last 20 years or so on, I always had this feeling that it has become a little bit stale, that everybody is doing the same shit, right? And we are like, no, in order to really revitalize the genre, I think you have to be a risk taker, right? And a lot of these AAA companies can't afford to take risks, right? We are a smaller studio. We don't have, like these crazy costs that they have and so on. So we just feel like you have to be ready to kind of like open some wounds and take some risks and so on, right? Because otherwise you might never get to that next big step. And doing those things that we're doing, right? And I was pleasantly surprised that when I saw Grinding here with their Path of Exile update now doing house, like city building and all of those things, that's cool, right? I would also be really pleasantly surprised if we would see Diablo 5 having combat that is maybe a little bit closer to what we are doing instead of like point and click and so on. We'll see, right? But and the same thing is true for wipes, for example, and for all of those things, right? Because there are other approaches to this where we feel like, no, you just have to ask yourself the question of like, why has it been done this way in the first place, right? And is there a better way to do it? We have this plague system, for example, right, that is static right now, where as you progress through the world, the difficulty of the enemy scales, but it's static. And we have this thing where it's like, no, but it was designed as a dynamic system. So at some point we switch this on, and then the enemies progressively level with you and so on, and then you can pull that back again. And that's another way we might approach this, right? So I think that is really important, that we just don't look at it as like, hey, we'll do this because other people have done it, right? But to look at how can we revitalize the genre? How can we do really exciting things that haven't been done yet?
So I do want to bring up one of the things you did talk about grinding your games, and as a player, I'm a huge fan of wipes. I actually used to not be, but Path of Exile changed that a lot for me. So I wonder, how do you feel about the way where they do it, where it's not exactly a true wipe. Everything just moves to the standard realm, so you can continue your character if you want to, but the majority of the new stuff, you do want to make a new character. And for me as a player, that's really refreshing. Like every time I want to play like RimWorld or any game in general, it feels a little bit like continuing somebody else's save game if I haven't played for like 6 months or 4 months or whatever.
Yeah, obviously, like Chris Wilson and this entire Grinding Gear team, right? Like they're incredibly proficient now with Path of Exile and super talented, have done amazing job. Like honestly, if like back then when Path of Exile released, right? If somebody would have said, "Oh, these guys compete against Diablo or Blizzard" back then, right? You would have laughed, right? And now they're like, "Oh shit, this is what they're doing now is on another level." I think they're smart. At the same time, again, like I'd like to look at things from the perspective of like, let's not really just entertain what have other people done, right? Because the one thing that I see with Path of Exile is how many people actually play the standard realms, right? After a new league is there and so on. That's what I would question there, right? And like just answering that question of like, or asking that question of like, why is it like this in the first place, right? Because the wipes are only there for like, to give you a fresh experience again, right? And I'm still like, there's these discussions that we had on like, can we do that in a different way as well, where we don't wipe you, and that's still to be figured out.
Sometimes there's technical reasons for that, right? Like sometimes you just have to do it from a technical perspective. But creatively, I think there is, there are wipes that could work well, and there are wipes that would just be a very big inconvenience to the community, and we would try to avoid the latter.
Well, that's fair. So obviously with the roguelike dungeon right now being like the majority of the end game, how how many different types of end games are you imagining that at least we'll have early on, and how big of a part of that will like the Crucible be?
I think it's all about merging it together. So there's like 3-4 components that we are thinking about right now, that we're doing right now. The Crucible is just one of those, right? And the Crucible right now is like, okay, so if I want to exalt my items and get these certain resources and so on, I go to the Crucible, right? But then there will be other things. I already mentioned the plague system. That's a major part of it, right? That that there will be a certain point in the game where the pestilence actually breaks out, and then the game really changes. So that's another one, and there's multiple other things, right? For many people, for example, we have lots of Dark Souls fans in the studio as well.
Yeah.
For many people, the PvP that we have planned will be the end game, right? Because our PvP, like the PvP typically in ARPGs is not great, right? Because it's really not suited for that kind of playstyle. But ours is really fucking fun, right? Because it's almost like a fighting game, right? And I came from having played back in the days, right? Like Bomberman and those kind of things with my family, right? And there's that as well, where I'd like to do things that are a little bit crazy in terms of PvP, where I even see things that Smash Brothers did that we could do. And just to create a really fun thing, right? Like ultimately, it's just about, how can we create hundreds of hours of fun for players and like not make the game ever get stale.
Yeah, I mean, that was going to be my follow-up. How much replayability are you aiming for versus, a lot of the Ori games are more about the storyline, right? Like there will be a lot of people that like finish Ori once and then they were like, I had a really great time, but they might not go back to it and play it for 1,000 hours.
I mean, that has been always a huge part of this project, right? Like with Ori, you always kind of like looked at, oh, we just spent 4 years in this, and now people have breezed through this thing in like 10 hours, right? And it's always like, Jesus Christ, like
we actually had a lot of ideas in Ori that actually now manifest themselves in this project because it just wasn't the right time for us to take that on. But I think if you ask me, I do think Ori has a few of those big opportunities that we could have taken that we decided not to, and it could have been made into a game that people could have replayed a lot more if we would have focused our effort there.
But that is obviously a huge thing. Like we want Wicked to be an extremely replayable game. Ultimately, once 1.0 hits and so on, right? Like we are working on a game that people could play forever, right? Be it like not in terms of just the content, right? At some point, you're going to run out of content, right? But in terms of, hey, I haven't played this build yet, or a build like that, or hey, I could approach this in a completely different way. That kind of thing. And then if we just keep it live, right? If we keep adding modes and other things to it, right? Like there's going to be so many different varieties of like how you could play Wicked that I think, like I want it to be the convenience game at some point for people, right? Where they just go, oh, this is my jam, right? This is what I play. I know it's fucking fun. I know what Moon Studios puts out is always super great, and really up my alley, right? That's basically what we're going for. So yeah, we literally went from games that people play for 10-15 hours to hopefully people will ultimately spend hundreds, if not thousands of hours.
The answer is it will depend on the kind of player you are, but the idea is that we're creating a game that could appeal in different ways to different people, right? So if somebody's really into roguelites and that kind of experience, well, you can do that. If you're into PvP, you can do that. If you want to have a great world and story, which I'm also really passionate, about, especially world building a grounded world that makes sense, where everything connects, right? That is immersive, where you feel grounded in the world. I think that is part of the experience, right? And if you that's something that people sometimes also don't think about, is that if you think about things like combat feedback, right, or the feel of the combat system, the audio, the hit reactions of enemies, the blood effects. Now we've added, we call it rip and tear, right? We have the ability to basically blast enemies into pieces in all kinds of ways and cut them in half and all of that. And we'll continue improving that. You could think about this as like, okay, this is something that is replayable in a sense, because if the game feels better to play, if the weapons are just super nice to actually use, right? If everything feels grounded, then when you then multiply it by a good system that brings you back, it's a replayable activity. But now you're in, the moment to moment is that much more enjoyable because you have this carrot on the stick that brings you back to do it more. But the moment to moment is really, really important. So I think it all kind of works together, right? Because you also want a break. If you play a game and it's the same kind of thing, even if if you really love it, at some point you want to break from it, right? But here it's like, okay, if you're really into the combat, but then you want to just relax, you want to go into the town and pet some animals and build a town project and farm and do the crops and hear the beautiful violin play in the background and just relax for an hour from all of the slashing and destroying monsters, it's still the same game, right?
I think there's a really interesting psychological thing there, right? Like if you look at, for example, right, if you take it back to simpler times, right, like Zelda on the Super Nintendo, A Link to the Past or something, right? What I really always loved about those games is that it wasn't just 8 dungeons in a row, right? There was an overworld, and you went through the overworld, got some item that allowed you to get access to the dungeon. In the dungeon, you found some item, and now that item in the dungeon actually allowed you to get to whole new places in the overworld, right? So there was this really nice interplay between these systems, right? And that's kind of like what we're trying to do with our stuff as well, right? Where it's like, hey, there's the overworld there, and psychologically it was just really cool, right? That you didn't have, oh, I need to do a dungeon, and now I need to do another dungeon, and then another dungeon, and then another dungeon, right? Because you're just, at some point you put the controller away because it's just too much at once, right? So you want to have these moments where it's just, oh, I can just chill in the overworld and like explore all this stuff and get these items, right? And then at some point you're ready again, like now I want to do this dungeon because I can't wait to see what I'm getting next, right? So that's the thing that we're doing here as well, right? Where it's like, hey, I run the overworld and I get some stuff and I loot some things, right? And then now I want to do a Crucible run and get some other stuff. Or your friends suddenly come online and you're like, hey, we haven't done this thing together recently, and so on. So that's the idea.
Yeah.
Even with Ori, we did that, right? With Ori, when we designed the world, it was like, hey, here's a platforming room, and then here's a combat room, and then here's a puzzle room, and now it's about story, and da-da-da. It was never, here's a platforming room, followed by a platforming room, followed by a platforming room, etc. Because you get bored, right?
Yeah.
And that's the really cool thing about Wicked, right? That we can literally throw all this stuff at you so that for every player, there's something there, right? So if you're not in the mood of X right now, well, you can do Y. And that's, again, like, I think with a lot of ARPGs, it's always like, here's a quest, go kill some monsters, right? And you go kill monsters. And then here's another quest, go kill some monsters, right? And it's just at some point, okay, well, here's I guess the next quest will be about go kill some monsters, right?
Yeah.
And we'd like to bring some more variety into this so that it's like, you can always do a variety of things. That's the idea.
Now, I think I was noticing for myself when doing the Crucible, and this was consistent between last time and this time a little bit, although less the last time. But I found myself running out of resources like food and stuff. Like, is that intended that you want people to like, okay, now I ran out of food, I can't do Crucible anymore, I need to go farm the world?
Yes, Thomas, what do you think about that problem of running out of food in the Crucible? Let's see.
So the things is that you haven't seen yet, right, is that the Seneschal, when you upgrade him, one of the things that he offers you is that you can actually heal in the Crucible. So you can heal against the orbs, the traces that you get, right? So there is that option for you, right? So you can make your life easier if you come in with a bunch of food. But if you don't want to play that way, if you just don't have food right now and you already unlocked that, well, you can also play that way. But there's a little bit of a cost to pay.
Okay. That explains a lot. Yeah. Very cool. The next topic. Oh, actually, I did want to ask you about anything. I don't know if you can even answer this, but have you guys, well, assuming you have, discussed a lot, how long do you plan to be in early access? Is it going to be like, a year or two, or do you want to stay in early access for like quite a while and like really iron everything out?
I think
I don't know if
we don't want to stay too long, and we want to iron everything out. So I don't think we want to be going for way too long, because at a certain point, I think artists need constraints, right? And we know this, we live this every day. At some point, you need to have a goal, and you just try to figure it out. Otherwise, it can take just a very long time. So we're not ready to share exactly the number of months we would be in early access, but yeah, we try to keep it on the short end.
Okay, cool. So like, for example, it would probably be less than 2 years from now then. Right. Cool. Cool.
When it's done.
When it's done.
There you go. See, that's the
when it's fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's already fun, but
Yeah.
It would probably be in that somewhere in that area.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So monetization is a big topic in games, and especially lately,
No.
I feel like that. No, it is. It's a very big topic, and I do feel
Yeah,
like.
but no is the answer to your question.
Oh, okay. So there's never going to be any pay to win or anything at all.
We don't have that planned. Yeah, we don't have that crazy thing. Like I made fun on Twitter about the whole whatever $50 horse or something, right? I think I'd look like a fucking idiot if we now have a $50 horse in the game. So it's not planned. Like we think there should be different ways to monetize games, right? Instead of just nickel and diming players. Like that feeling of like, oh, I go into the game and they sell me stuff, right? It should just be, no, I go into the game because I want to have fun, right? So that's the idea.
Awesome. So does that mean that, like, do you think you'll have anything like a paid expansion instead then? So like there'll be like a huge like DLC?
Yes.
But yeah, okay, perfect.
Yeah, cool. we think that's the fairer approach for players, right? So that they know, hey, these guys have put a ton of work into this, right? There's a whole new area or a whole new areas and all new stuff, right? And so at some point after 1.0, yes, we plan for a kind of like an expansion model where we just say, look, obviously we have to pay our developers as well and so on, right? And that makes sense. I think that's pretty fair. But the whole, hey, we rely on whales to finance the game, I think is pretty problematic and leads you onto a pretty shitty road.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the big things I kind of champion on my stream. I like really hate the monetization in a lot of games now, so it's very refreshing to hear. It's like there's at some point you get very tilted when you keep getting like pop-up notifications like, hey, buy our new stuff, and it's like, I just want to play the game. Like
it just creates all these problems, even from a designer's perspective and from a developer's perspective in general, right? This whole, hey, we have this really cool thing that we did, right? But you're never going to see it unless you pay for it, right? And it's like, well, really now I'm playing the game just to get an opportunity to buy something versus, I have to do this really cool challenge to get this really cool loot, right? And that
I think for me it goes far deeper than that, right? For me, it's just immersion breaking, right? Mm-hmm. It's you want to play a game to escape, right? To disconnect, to be somewhere else, to be in a different place, to kind of have your brain focus on something else. And when it kind of breaks that wall of like, oh, give me money, even if it's a virtual currency or whatever, it feels all the same. It kind of breaks that experience for you, right? Because you're no longer in this other world. You're now connecting my world and my financial situation, right? Which sometimes I want to escape from with this game. And that kind of defeats the whole purpose. And there should be a good way of, creating a financial upside if you're making a high quality product without having to, kind of be needy, right? And be like, hey, pay, right? Like, hey, we need you to buy this, we need you to buy that. Sometimes developers need support, and there's nothing wrong with that. If they need that, they need that. But I do think that at the end of the day, it's art. Video games should be art. And if people like it, well, they will come and they will spend the money to buy the game. At that point, it's the game. I
just also have to think about kind of like the 12, 13-year-old Thomas, right? Like I didn't have that much money for games back then. And if I imagine the situation that we have right now, where it's like, oh, if I want this really cool item, I have to pay $15. That's fucking bullshit. Like that's just.
I love hearing this.
It's really weird.
For me, it's I have a personal story for that too. I grew up with. I still remember the feeling of holding that disc of Dungeon Keeper, the first Dungeon Keeper, right? Yeah, and the first moment of being able to possess a creature, and then it's like, oh, and I can experience everything from a first person view. Like, what the fuck? This is amazing. This is great. Then I did Dungeon Keeper 2. Whatever you think, that was still very fun and very addictive. And then there was this other Dungeon Keeper that I pretend never happened.
Yep, same.
Where I
the phone thing.
I then needed to go, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to try that. Of course, I grew up with Dungeon Keeper. I love that game. And then it was like, hey, so you're going to have to break this rock, and it's going to take you just like an insane amount of hits, which is just makes absolutely no sense. But you can buy this X, and it's going to be much faster. And I was like, I'm done. I closed that game, and I never went back. I'm still playing Dungeon Keeper 1 and 2 once in a while. And those are the only Dungeon Keepers that exist for me. So,
I think the industry in general, though, is heading a little bit in a different direction, right? Like the whole, microtransaction thing, I think that has kind of like ran its course, except for maybe like the EA stuff. But I think there's probably going to be different ways to monetize. But I think the AAA industry, I think in general, is like, if you have 1,500 people on a game, right? Like, yes, you do need to somehow feed those people.
Yeah.
But ultimately, players will decide and will vote with their
100%.
wallets, right? I don't know if they vote, for, I want to feed your 1,500 people constantly by flashing my credit card.
I do feel, sadly, that it is getting worse, not better, especially with the latest edition of I'm calling it peasant launch, but it's like, oh, we have our actual launch, but then you can start playing 3 days earlier to get a head start for like $30. Like, that's my least favorite addition to gaming. But it's been very refreshing to hear you talk about it. And I actually want to ask about the city building and stuff. And this is really interesting to me because time gating in games, I feel like was in a lot of games introduced as a feature, like you said, to get people to pay for it, right? And we have that in very many like mobile games where it's like, this is going to be 16 hours to build, or you can pay $3 to do it instantaneously. And it's really interesting to me that you guys don't have any way to speed it up for money, and neither does Path of Exile, but you've both gone with time gating. And that's not a feature that everybody loves. So I would love to hear you guys talk a little bit about.
I love this question. This is a great question.
I know there's a lot of people, like, this is a very controversial thing, right? And as you can imagine in the team as well, right? There's a lot of people go, oh my God, this is now a timer, what the fuck, right?
Yeah, I specifically want you to answer. What is the benefit, in your opinion?
Ultimately, again, like, we have to build all this stuff with what's to come, right? Not just, hey, here's based on what you're playing right now, right? But also what's to come. And ultimately, my goal is that we fuse all those things together, that you always have a believable world, right? That it's not just every single time the player wants something, click, and you got it, right? Because I think that's what got us into that situation of, hey, these ARPGs were really fun, and now it's just everything explodes on screen at once, huge numbers, right? Like big dick damage, and everything all at once. There's this wild saying that I think is very true, right? Like that if given the chance, players will optimize the fun out of any game, right?
That is true.
And I think what happens a lot right now is that developers just listen probably too much to the community. Like, we want all the feedback that we can get, right? And want people to tell us, hey, wouldn't it be cool to do this and that and so on? But ultimately, we're the directors of the game, right? We're the designers. We have to make sure that, we feed you with stuff, we give you stuff that is just super fucking fun, right? And sometimes you might say, but I don't like these fucking green peas, right? But if we can make them fucking delicious, you might like them, right? So it's just, to me, the big thing is building a believable world. And you will see that with the multiplayer as well, and with the way we'll do Day of Time stuff and so on, that Sacrament and the whole of Isola Sacra should always just feel like, oh, I'm popping into this world and something crazy is going on, etc., right? And that whole time thing, to me, plays a big part of that. I don't think we have really achieved that yet. Right now, it's just, here's a timer, right? But ultimately, I think this is for the better of the game. I think there's a good reason why Grinding Gear did the same thing, right? Like, they probably have a very similar idea of, like, we want to build a really believable thing, and we want to do a lot with time, because time is value.
Yeah, and I think it's just really something that you look forward to, right? That there's this delayed gratification, and you're really kind of investing into something that will come into fruition in the future. And I think that is a very rewarding concept. I do think that, as Thomas is saying, we have this big debate in the team about this as well, but I don't think we have so much a debate about whether or not we should do timers, right? Because I think the concept is obviously, useful, and delayed gratification is very, very powerful. The problem is, why don't people get it yet, right? Or why don't people enjoy it yet? So this is where, when you look at feedback from the community, right, you shouldn't just say, well, there's a Steam comment that says kill timers, and it has 1,000 upvotes, and you just go in there and you go like, okay, I guess people don't like timers, right? Then you just kill them. But I think a lot of the times, as a designer and as a somebody that tries to lead this product through a process here, you have to look at the feedback, and then you have to look at it holistically, and then ask the question, why do people feel that way, right? Because it might not be that they don't want the timers. It might be that they don't want the timers the way they are in right now. And then you could be like, okay.
I think that's a Yeah, I think that's a general thing right now, right? Because we've seen like the internet has changed the thinking a lot, like psychologically for everybody, right? Because look at TV shows back then, right? Like I loved, for example, when Game of Thrones was still good, right? How everybody was like, "Oh my God, did you see that episode?" Right? And then for a week you had to speculate, right? "Oh my God, well, what will happen in the next one?" and so on. And I would argue that is really valuable. That's really cool that people have to speculate, that they don't know yet what's going to happen, right? That you actually that time, right? Like the time is a thing, right? Whereas if you just have, okay, here's a full season, you can binge watch it, right? And a lot of people do it in the first day, right?
Yeah.
And then, well, the fun is over, right? Like there's nothing to speculate and so on. I think that is really interesting, especially if we do time also with story and with all those things, right? Like I think there's a lot of cool stuff that we can do there. You see it also with like how that can change the way players play. Like let's take hardcore mode, for example, right? You do hardcore, you make permadeath a thing, right? And suddenly you play the game very differently than you do if you can just spam heals all the time, right? So I think there's a lot like
I think
there in terms of like how we make the timers really interesting.
It's complicated, right? Because I was kind of keeping an eye on the chat here, and I think the people have a really fair point that maybe for a lot of people, timers are connected to microtransactions, right?
Yeah.
So they automatically associated with this negative emotion that they might have towards that. And I think that you have to also think about world building, right? So for instance, I would probably assume that a lot of people, and this is the argument that I'm sort of telling myself whenever we have this discussion about timers. I can think of one mechanic where timers make perfect sense, but you don't think about them as timers, and that is farming, right? So when you plant your crops and you need to give this investment that you have just made, you've bought a plot of land, you've harvested these materials that you can now plant in the ground, then you need to water it, you need to do all of that thing, and then it's going to produce results over time, right? You don't expect that you would water it and it's like bam, immediately everything, all the crops grow. But I feel like a lot of people would accept that, but they don't accept that when it comes to a building project, which is like, well, what did you expect? That Danos is going to build it over 1 second? Like that is also
yeah. It's just there's something fun to me, right? Like when you think back about being a kid and like that wait for Christmas, right? Was like was exciting, right? Like every day was like, oh my God, I can't wait for Christmas, right? Like that kind of thing. I think time is just generally a really powerful concept. And again, like I don't think we are there yet, but there's lots of really interesting ideas.
Well, I have 2 more questions, and the first one is a question for both of you. So we'll start with Thomas. I want you to list one thing that you think No Rest for the Wicked does really well, and your least favorite thing that the game needs to work on.
Can I give you 10?
No, you only get to pick one.
I would say generally the feel of the game, right? Because if I played all these ARPGs recently, top-down ARPGs, to me, they all feel very similar to play. And I like that Wicked feels distinctively different, right? That it's just, okay, this is a different beast. Different. The combat feels very different and so on. That kind of thing. I mean, there's so much that we still want to improve on that is on the roadmap, right?
You get to pick one.
My biggest thing would probably, I would agree with the community that I would really want to see multiplayer finally, like live, right? So that everybody can play it and so on. Because like a lot of the multiplayer stuff that we've been thinking about is
something you have to release. So what do you want to fix about the game? I'm not gonna let you.
Can't weasel you out of this one.
Fix about it. Well, it's all stuff that I wanna, that I wanna add to it. I'd like to see way more bosses, right? That kind of thing. Fix is hard. I don't know. I don't think that way. Like whenever I think of have to fix something, then it's just, to me, it goes into the list of, things that we still have to do.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. What about you?
Do I get to give you 2 downsides now because Thomas gave you 0?
Okay, yeah, go for it. Yep.
That's easy. Things that we do really well. I mean, there's, I think, a lot of things to be really happy about before we talk about the improvements. But I personally, what I really like and what we're really pushing the team all the time is to create a world, to create something that is immersive, right? So all of the different components of the experience have to come together. So it's the writing, it's the, it's how you design the game so it feels grounded. It's how the controller feels. It's the visual effects. It's the audio. It's, it's the IK on the feet of the character. It's the way animation blending works. It's all of these different elements and just creating something that feels grounded and immersive, that has weight to it, right? So it doesn't feel like it's this subtle thing of feeling connected to the experience, the character that you see on the other side. Because I think video games a lot of times could be disconnected. It's like, it's a video game, right? Like you just subconsciously don't really perceive it a certain way. But I think we've been able, at least for me, we've been able to do something that feels grounded and immersive, and you really connect with that world. You feel the weight of being in that world and the weight of that combat. And I really like that. I think that is something that's very difficult to do, and something that is,
very nice.
Put your finger at, because it's not one individual component. It's, greater than some of its parts kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the things that we could improve, I think there was really a lot, but I would just really like to see our fading system get a pass on it, because the way the world, it's so beautiful and it's so, the style is so unique. But then you have these like, and now everything fades, and you have this like half of this tree fades, and it also feels very techy. It feels very, it doesn't have the finesse that the art style has yet. So the technical component, the technical aspect of how we do occlusion, which by the way, comes from our camera system, right? So like it's very, very difficult to do that, in an isometric perspective, because you constantly have these objects, but we now also have verticality in this game that you generally don't have in other games. And then everything starts to occlude, right? Like you sometimes have this big pillar and it's in front of your character, and it's like, what do you do? And how do you do it in a way that is really organic and really clean, right? Something that fits into this bigger, art style. So I think that's the thing that annoys me every single time. And maybe the other thing that I would probably like to see, and maybe Thomas is, he will agree with that, is that I think that there is more we can do with the world still. Like, I think that we are just getting started with side quests and additional NPCs, and it's like, I would just like to really be lost in the world in terms of, well, if I venture out, maybe I can meet someone, right? And they have.
No, I 100% agree on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so I mean, that is
we're still going to do a lot of.
Like in general, like I agree with that, right? Like in general, I think there's a lot of story stuff to come that is really important to us. If you saw that with the Ori games, like one of the reasons why your wife is probably a fan of the Ori games is because they look pretty, right? But also there was a deep, meaningful message in all of them, right? Yep. They had this fantasy style, right? And looked a little bit like kids games, right? But then they dealt with very serious human topics and so on. I think a lot of times right now in these kind of games, especially, it's very just fantastical, right? Like, big demon spawns, big demon kills the world. You have to stop big demon, right? And I would like to have stuff in there where it's like, no, you really connect with these characters. Who are all these vendors and people there? And then to give them character, like, and lots of situations, right? Where you really feel for them and understand the troubles that they're going through and all of this stuff. Like, why are they in the situation that they're in, right? And to see character arcs fully played out over the course of all of this, right? Like, I would like to do something where that it's a full huge thing, right? Like that it's a full epic, right? Where at the end of it, all the character arcs are done, right? And you understand exactly where all these characters went and what they went through and so on. I think that's a huge thing. And I think that, like, sadly, some of the story stuff we had to sacrifice just to ship early access and so on. But that is extremely important to us, that we now will finally be able to tell those stories where people really will start cry again, right? Or like really connect with these characters that they interact with.
Very cool. Very cool. As a final question, what should we be the most excited for that is on the horizon?
I think a lot. Like, it's pretty fucking crazy, all the stuff that we have planned, right? I think the multiplayer is something that people will be really excited about. And it depends on the player, right? I think a lot of players will be excited about big Sacrament update that we have planned. I think other people will be very excited about the PvP and the way we do it and so on, because that will also be its very own unique thing. just the world expansion, right? The Marine Woods and the Lowland Meadows and so on are the next bigger areas that we're introducing. There's a lot upcoming, which just, hey, we hope we make a really big dent in the genre. So
Well,
yeah, that's a lot.
very,
The point
very
is,
excited.
we've been building this foundation for 7 years, and we've just started, sort of firing all of those bullets that we've been developing for a long time. And we're learning a lot. And I think the most exciting thing for us, it's hard to pick maybe necessarily one specific update, or, obviously we could say, well, 1.0, right? Like that's when it's going to go big, right? And we'll have all the content we planned for that. But I think it's the journey, right? It's important for us to also enjoy the process of making video games, the process of making video games with the community, and being able to be vulnerable, being able to try things, be audacious, take some risks, try things that maybe other people wouldn't try, fail a few times, maybe do things that don't work, correct from there, and dial everything in to create this experience that we always wanted to play when we were growing up, with these games like Diablo 2, and we were kind of thinking, where could this genre go next? What kind of game would I be playing in 20 years from now, right? And here we are, 20 years from now, and we're still not playing that game. And I think that
I think in general, like that, the thing that amazes me is just the amount of stuff that we can still do. As Gennady said, right? Like we have a really great foundation now. And if you look at, for example, what we did with the roguelite update now, right? With the Crucible. Again, like that's just the start for us, right? Like, and we just took it from it basically took a month for us to do this now. Because there was a whole bunch of other stuff that we did. Then we focused on the Crucible, and we're like, okay, we'll do this in a big way now. And ultimately, I think the kick that people get from roguelite games, that kick I would like to get them just from playing the Crucible, right?
Yeah.
And that just means, well, we have to support it with more content and so on. But then also just using that foundation, right, that we already have, really cool levels, that you can actually have this verticality in the levels, that you could do multiplayer in a roguelite fashion, right?
Yeah.
We even I don't know if we should tease this already, right? But one of the statues, right, we want to do even like a survivor type thing and so on.
Cool.
And just go crazy with that, right? Simply because, well, the foundation is already there. All the things have been laid out. Our combat system is there. All the stat stuff is there and so on.
That sounds cool.
And we just really have to take it to the finish line, right? And just say, right? There's all this crazy shit in there. It's going to be cool.
That's the cool thing, where all of these experiences, they're going to start connecting, right? So it's not going to be just about a particular mode or a particular thing that's in the game, but it's how all of this plays together, right? So, you can think about hey, we're doing a roguelite mode, and it's really cool. Or we're doing a survivor mode that Thomas, just mentioned, and it's really cool. But now we can do it in multiplayer. Then oh, whoa, that is pretty cool. This is not something you have experienced before to that degree, right? And I think it's going to be this the process of connecting all of these dots, and then for the gamer, when they experience this game, to actually see that it all connects, right? That it all makes sense, and now I can engage with this. And then, if I'm in the Crucible and I run out of food, okay, I want to do more Crucible, so I have to go back into town, and maybe I do some farming, or maybe I'll go and venture in the overworld, I'll collect some materials, or maybe I'll upgrade some projects because I want to make more food. And, it all starts to, all of these different modes, they start talking to each other, they start feeding into one another. And I think that's also a very, very, that's another layer of complexity that I think the only way to get it right is to just release the game, try it out, see how people play it, get the feedback, iterate, really understand the feedback on a deep level, understand why things aren't working, don't take feedback at face value, then do those deep, changes, iterate again, try again, until it really starts coming together. And I'm seeing that there are actually quite good questions in the chat. I don't know if you want to spend a few moments, maybe, if we have that still.
Yeah,
but I mean, there's a very very good question that I think I just saw here. Let me bring this up. People are asking if we're going to do more NPCs in general, like Finley and things like that. And the answer is yeah, absolutely. There's going to be a big update that's going to come at some point in the future. We will do the big roadmap update, but there will be a lot more NPCs and projects in Sacrament.
Okay. Very cool. Well, I mean, I'm really, really happy.
Zelda thing. So I just wanted to say that real quick, right? Like what Gennady said with the whole all the dots connect, right? That goes back to that Zelda thing, right? Where it's like it was done on a simpler level because games back then were simpler, right? But if you now explode it out, right, and it's just, oh, but I could do this, and then you go and oh, but now I try this. Oh my God, this other thing is done now, and now I could do this, and then oh, I could do this, right? Like it's just really gonna be super addictive and fun. I think once all the stuff connects.
It is always
That's
super
really
good
exciting.
when you're just always feeling like you have one more thing to do, one more thing to work on and stuff. Absolutely.
Yep.
This is like
when you just don't want to shut the fucking
interview.
game off and it's like, oh my God, it's 5 a.m. already. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is the best feeling when you're like, oh, I'll play one more game, right? I'll do one more thing, and suddenly it's 5 a.m. Absolutely the best feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
One more run.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for taking time to do this interview. This was like super refreshing, very like brutally honest about everything, and just really, really nice to hear. So huge thank you to both of you, and congratulations on No Rest for the Wicked so far. It looks amazing. I've been having a blast playing it, so really good job.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for having us, and I think you should do more of those Zizaruns of the Crucible. No.
I will. All right. Thank you so much.
Get your damage up, man.
Well, I'll try. Okay, I'll try. Okay. Well, hopefully, even we can do more of these talks after like future updates as well. That would be super cool if you guys are done for it. I really enjoyed it, so hopefully I'll see you back here in not too long.
Of course.
Absolutely. Whenever you want to have an interview or something, right? We're always here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you guys soon.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Awesome. There it is. That was super fun. Very based. Very honest. They were so cool. Actually based devs. Based amount of fucking. I'm a fan. Such a good interview. Yeah, hopefully I did a good job. That was super fun. That was super fun. The website is correct. You may need to censor all those F words to upload to YouTube. No, that's fine. Yeah, you can switch it back. I have to go work on the rest of I have to work on rest of the videos. Because I'm a bit swamped. I don't have that much time left because I have another 6 hours that I can work on stuff. We all got a little fucking us. So I do have to end, and yeah. I have 3 more videos I need to record. I've recorded 3 already today. Recorded 11 videos yesterday, I think. I know I'm recording too many videos. But yeah. No rest for the videos. But yeah, either way, that was a sponsored stream. I really enjoyed it. I'm so happy I had that idea of like, let's do a dev interview. But yeah, I will see you guys later. Hope you guys are enjoying all the content. I don't know how many people ended up. I did do my first like Twitter stream. It's so hard to like read chat and stuff there. That's 800 people watching on Twitter. It's like, even now when I open it, the chat doesn't even load. The Twitter chat is really weird. So, hi Twitter. Really odd. But other than that, everything seemed to go really well. I am gonna end. I'll see you guys later. So yeah, thanks for watching. Try to die less than I do. And tomorrow we have lunch.
Hey guys,
Very easy to switch between less rate and SST.
literally just about to go to bed.
Hi, Zizaran here. Zizaran here. Zizaran here. Zizaran here. With Zizaran here. Hi, Zizaran here. And welcome to my channel. Wow, that looks like my girlfriend. Sharks is the best one. Go away! Leave! I believe in Sharknado, and you should too. Vote Sharknado to go away! Gauntlet will be hell on earth? Yes. Yes, it will. Oh my god! Nothing prepared me for that! So creative. Oh! Oh! We made so much money! Oh! Oh! Scripted! Scripted! That's our card! That's our community card! We made this!